can. We'll probably talk to you.
West Yellowstone, Florida. Yellowstone, Florida.
All right. Good evening. Welcome to the Murray City Municipal Council Committee of the Whole meeting. This will be a very brief meeting. After this meeting, we will go right into the RDA meeting over in the council chambers. And then we will have a break at 6:15, and then we will go into a council meeting at 6:30. Also, which should not be terribly long, I don't believe. But, I'm Gary Harekasi, Chair of the Council. I'll be conducting the meeting tonight here at Murray City Hall in the Poplar Meeting Room. All council members are present except for Councilwoman Dominguez, who has been excused for the meeting. Welcome, everyone. I will start out with approval of the minutes for Committee of the Whole, September 19th, 2023. Are there any changes to the meeting minutes?
No.
All in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
Do I need to take a motion? Sorry, can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Yes, it was. Okay, we will move on to discussion items. The first item is a discussion on a resolution approving the mayor's appointment to the Salt Lake County Justice Court Nominating Commission, and we have Mayor Hale presenting. Well, I was like, am I misreading it or something? No. I gotta keep up.
Okay, it's just a simple thing that, it's the Justice Court nomination for our judge. And, I'm gonna ask that we appoint, GL Richfield and Karen Gallegos, who is, over on courts, who serve on it.
And is it just those two on the commission, or are there others?
It's five total.
Five total.
Who makes up the other three?
So I believe, it's the county mayor, there's a representative from the county bar, and then the mayors, all the mayors get together and approve somebody.
And the county bar is not the ice house. It's.
Thank you for the clarification.
I believe there are five.
Yeah, they're.
And after that point, if I recall, how long is the process?
And then in January, February, I mean, it's a few months.
Okay.
So it starts in November.
Yeah, these guys will start doing that.
And how often does it meet?
Yeah, I don't think we know yet.
No, the process is not.
They're hoping to choose, have the judge chosen, which ultimately would come to you by April.
So it's a,
Wow.
he's not 75 until June?
May, yeah.
She's not gonna let me get an extra month out of it.
Well, this is basically the interview panel.
Yeah.
So we don't know yet how many people have applied. I
Did you-
reached out to try
you
to
didn't get
find
an
out,
answer.
but I didn't hear back.
Hardly anybody so far. We don't have now, but a few weeks ago, I'll just tell you as
So they'll do it in one sitting likely, and then recommend up to 5 to the mayor.
Good.
All right. Any further questions from the council?
What mayors? Is it a group of mayors?
No, just a couple people, Jenny will be on it,
Uh-huh.
those two, and then the other two come from, I don't know if it's the state?
So all the mayors in the county.
Oh, all the mayors
I'm
like
sorry,
Tony?
but not on
Right.
the committee.
Right.
Oh.
They will appoint one person
Yes.
for the.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they'll pick more than that. How many will they pick?
So you get one selection for the committee.
So there'll be, I wanna say there'll be 5.
Yes.
5, and then we'll pick out of the 5. So there'll be 5 presented.
Hopefully.
Well, yeah.
You get that.
We're putting two things together.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm following. So you're talking, so she was talking about the makeup of the committee.
Okay.
Will be the mayors will get together and appoint one of those 5 seats, or the committee that chooses the judge.
So they will choose a mayor. At COM, they will choose a mayor in addition to our 2.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking about. They don't choose our mayor. I meant our judge, sorry, I said mayor, I meant our judge. Our judge, yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Confused you a little bit? So the process will take until, well, I say March or April.
Moving on to the second item, it's the ULCT Annual Convention Report. So we were up at the ULCT Annual Convention just a bit ago. So 3 of us went. And so David, do you want to lead off?
Yeah, I
Your
can get
report,
started.
please.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the conference. It was fun. I, in my professional capacity, was able to go to the APA conference a few weeks later, and there's a little bit of overlap there, but it was really cool. So something that I really appreciated is the keynote speaker was basically about the missing middle housing, about how we have apartments, we have single family homes, and there's not quite as much in between. And so that priority of, if we want to make housing more affordable, building a variety of housing types was kind of something that I enjoyed. I went to another panel about parking, which is a hot topic that everyone loves to talk about. It was 2 different presentations. One was from Ogden City, one was from Clearfield City, about how they've looked at their parking standards, kind of seen how throughout the city what their standards are, how they want to change them, different things like that. So I thought that was super interesting. And then another panel that I went to was about downtowns, which I felt was appropriate with Murray as we're looking at our downtown area here. It talked about Fairborn Station over in West Valley, as well as Mill Creek Commons that Mill Creek has done, and just kind of the strategies they looked at, how they took those projects just from like the concept through the completion, and I thought it was good. It was interesting to hear from the different city managers and things how they were able to take an idea into something that was fully developed. So that's kind of my report.
All right. Jennifer, did you want to give a report?
Yeah, so sometimes in these conferences, especially with ULCT, my classes I go to are a little different than theirs, as I'm kind of over the administration of the council. So some of the classes that I always like to go to is the powers and duties of the council, which is a good reminder for me, a good refresher for you guys. So when you have questions, you can come to me, and I always think that's interesting. I also went to a class on public service and ethics, which I thought was very interesting, and there were like 10 of us there at a whole conference, which I thought was a little bit sad.
Jennifer, who presented on the powers and duties?
It's their current attorney. I don't think I have his name. It's different than it used to be.
He was
Todd
Godfrey.
Godfrey. Yeah.
And who did it used to be? What was the fellow? He was so entertaining.
Project 2, yeah.
No,
Wasn't Gary Crane, was it?
You know who I
I know
David
his name would
Church
come
was
to me
there,
at
but
2
then they
o'clock.
had somebody else.
He retired.
Yeah.
He just
It
retired.
wasn't David Church. I mean, David Church was there.
It was
David Church, it was David. That's who she's,
It's very good.
very
It's interesting.
Murray guy. Do you know that? Grew up here in Murray.
And then, just like David said, the missing middle, they focused on that as well, was another big thing we learned about in the conference. And based on my last LPC meeting, both of those are also being addressed at the legislature right now, so.
Very heavily.
Yeah, and that's my report.
In fact, they talked about how it's gonna, the middle income house would be 450,000.
Sure. I can't imagine that's what
like,
it is.
See how that is.
Councilwoman Cox?
Yeah, I took a different spin on it. I got really a lot of information from Todd Godfrey and the governor and this incredible woman, Laura Ling. They both had the common thread is getting along with people that we are working with, or like Governor Cox, he is on the commission with the governor of Denver. And he's the chairman of the National Governor Association, and his comment was disagreeing better without hating each other. And then Laura Ling, which is really interesting because my youngest daughter's name is Laura, and her sister is Lisa, who's my oldest daughter is Lisa. And I read her book before I went to the conference, and she was with her journalist friends, two other people. She was kidnapped in North Korea, and they were in China, and their guide kind of walked them across the border of North Korea, and she was taken, and she was in prison, and She had to get along with her guards, even though they dressed differently and they talked differently. She was making friends with them, and it took an interesting turn to get them out of there. It took Bill Clinton to get them out, and it's really interesting how you can make something that you do today could have an impact later on in life. And they offered Al Gore and a couple other people, and Kim Jong-il said, no, I want President Clinton to come. And it says, in her book, it says, the president also told us one of the reasons why he thought Kim was so intent on having him make the trip. He said that during their meeting, Kim told him how much he had appreciated the phone call Clinton made to him to express his condolence when his father, Kim Il-sung, passed away in July 1994. According to Clinton, Kim told him, "You were the first one to call me, even before any of my allies, and I've always remembered that." And when Kim arrived to greet President Clinton, the first thing he said with great passion and confidence was, "I've always wanted to meet you." So I just thought that the things that we do today will have an impact and later on in the future. So that, yeah, there was a lot, but meeting her and listening to Governor Cox and Todd Godfrey, they all had the same comments.
And then for me, I mean, I went back to the policy thing, so, I mean, the housing, that was kind of the common thread through many of the meetings, whether it was talking about the Olene Walker Housing Fund, what we do with the homelessness, situation. I thought though, that, you know, it's interesting because you see what Salt Lake City has done and how they've utilized that, and it's just the armies that they have of resources to be able to utilize those things. I think it's a lot of, you know, it's a challenge in how we can right size with our size of city to be able to take part in some of these, because I think about the middle, housing in the middle, and you know, we can talk about the townhomes, right? But the townhomes going into RC Willie are probably gonna $650,000 to $750,000. That's not exactly middle. We think about it, so it's a challenge that I think is gonna plague us for a while here. The other thing that I participated in was priority budgeting. I found that interesting. Riverton has taken on a priority budgeting approach where they've cut a lot of things out that are not the, they came up with these priorities and then they determined what in their budget fit into those priorities and cut everything else. And it was an interesting concept to do it. Now here in Murray, the challenge is we kind of do everything, right? And so it's a little different situation, but that's how they approached it and attacked it. So it was interesting to me. Mayor, did you want to say anything? You were also there.
I would love it, I'll tell you. Laura Lane was probably
Yeah.
she just was amazing. I thought, what I remembered most is when she said, my sister said, let's get Bill Clinton. And she said, she said, let's get Bill Clinton to her sister. And she was, why? I thought, Bill Clinton, she goes, I can't even tell you why, it just came to my mind.
Yeah.
Had no clue that he had some relationship to the North Korean leader, but all of a sudden that opened up doors. And I loved, like you said, Pam, when she said, she didn't come in with any agenda. There was zero agenda, and you could tell why. She was so appreciative to be back on American soil.
Yeah.
That she was so thankful to be back, because she thought she'd never return. And like you said, the guards there were mean and beat you up, and you were women guards, and she said, I don't know why, but this one, her and I became friends.
Yeah.
And that saved me immensely. And so anyway, it was impressive. I went to a couple others that were great, but I thought that probably was one of my favorites too. I love that.
Yeah.
And we got a picture with her.
We did.
I was impressed. She's a great.
Well, and I appreciate the kind of the thread that you pulled on there, because especially with everything that is transpiring right now across the world.
Yes.
The images that we're seeing out of Israel and the Gaza Strip and that area, I think, remind us all how lucky and blessed we are of where we live, and also just that we never want that kind of inflammation or inflammatory situation to happen here.
Yeah.
And so we need to, you know, as our Miss Murray said, kindness. Let's focus on kindness. And I found that's her focus, and treating others kindly, I think is.
I said to Cindy the other day, I said, I feel like I'm stressed watching this, and I'm thinking, how do those people feel that are there?
Well, in fact, when we got home on Monday, we were on the bus heading to get our car, and there was a family on the bus that had just gotten out of Tel Aviv, and they were right in the middle of it, and they were discussing some of the things they were seeing as people were approaching the hotels trying to get Americans, and it was pretty scary. So I can't imagine what these people went through. But with that, it is time for us to adjourn this meeting and move on to RDA.
Welcome. It is now the time for the Redevelopment Agency of Murray City for Tuesday, October 17th, 2023. Okay, we have a full agenda, so we should probably get started. Council members are here with the exception of Rosalba Dominguez. She is excused. And I mean RDA members, not council members. So let's get started. And number one is the approval of minutes for August 22nd, 2023 and September 19th, 2023. Are there any changes or additions?
None.
Yes, Chair. I noticed that there were a few times my name was misspelled, but staff has been notified to make those changes.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Then I would appreciate a motion of approval with the additions or the changes that Councilmember Rogers mentioned.
I will make a
Or
motion.
the Member Rogers mentioned.
I will make a motion that we approve the minutes for the RDA meeting for August 22nd, 2023 and September 19th, 2023.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I second it.
All right. We have a motion by Councilmember Harekesi and a second by Councilmember Cotter. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All right, motion passes unanimously. Let's go on to number 2, which is citizen comments. Public comments can be made in person during the meeting or may be submitted by sending an email, including your name and address, to rda@murray.utah.gov. All comments are limited to 3 minutes or less, and email comments will be read into the meeting record. So are there any email comments? Okay. All right. Citizens. Please state your name and place of citizenship.
Start again. Now that the microphone is working, maybe for the best, or not, maybe my time starts over again. Anyway, my name is Delyn Barney. I live at 4902 South Box Elder Street in Murray, Utah. First of all, I'd like to start out by expressing my heartbreak about the tragedy that's going on in the Middle East with Israel and with Palestine. I've had the opportunity in my life to spend 8 months living and working in Egypt and becoming familiar with those people. And also I had the opportunity to travel in Israel for a short time. And it's hard to see the people on both sides being affected by what's going on, and also what's going on in Russia and Croatia. Now don't take this wrong, as heartbreaking as that is, I have on my side, my personal property, the property located at, let me see if I can start again. Discussion item number 7, the sale of property at 4872. That is a technical error. That property should not be identified as a piece of property for sale. The reason I say that is a little over 100 years ago, when that parcel and some other parcels like the one I'm living on were identified as the Murray City Ball Grounds, the person made a reference to the incorrect southeast corner of the northeast quarter of section 12. And since then, that had been perpetuated up until the time the Murray City Fire Station the property was surveyed. When that property was surveyed, it identified that parcel as extending over to the north side of the Rasmussen property. My property is just to the south of the Rasmussen property. Mine is also shifted north by 10 feet. Everything was originally oriented around 3 streets, 4th Avenue, 5th Avenue, and 4800 South. No, not 48, I mean Box Elder Street, going north and south, and then towards the north of 4800 South. If things were to be put correctly back into the proper alignment, the property that is currently identified as my driveway, which is owned by Wasatch Affordable Ventures, would not exist. But because of boundary line alignments and adjustments and corrections and current surveys, as is unfortunately reflected by the fight that's going on in the east by somebody identifying the property boundaries there, it has gotten into a battle where thousands of people are being killed, innocent and non-innocent. And in order for me to get my property straightened out, I'm going to have to spend possibly thousands of dollars to get that corrected if I can convince the people at the recorder's office to correct that. But this particular piece of property should not be identified as a property for sale. And so I feel it should be taken off of the list until the property boundaries in this area are corrected. And again, I express my sadness towards what's happening in the Middle East with the Palestinians and with the Israelis. And I'd like to wish the best for both of them, and hopefully their leaders can get their heads out of there and get it straightened out.
Thank you, Delyn. Okay, if there are no more comments, we will continue on. The next is a public hearing, which is the consideration of a resolution of the Redevelopment Agency of Murray City, amending the budget for the fiscal year 2023 and 2024. Brenda? Let's see how fast I can get this computer up. Since we changed it's changed so quickly, they didn't get a chance to get it going. Great. Okay. Let's just start. I figured before we do the budget opening, I would just start with a really quick summary of where all of the RDA areas ended up last year. And that way you'll have a little bit better idea about whether we can do the budget opening. So just a quick map, the areas that we have. The ore sampling site. I don't know if anybody has actually driven over that bridge, but there are trucks that are actually hauling away that crappy dirt, and that is being cleaned up. Currently, there's nothing going on as far as our books are concerned, and we do have that 2.5 that he will get reimbursed once we start collecting and he gets that building finished. Cherry Street, this one, the collection ends in calendar 2023. They received $139,000 last year. Low-income housing, $52,000 was done for their administrative fees. They transfer money that will stop in 2024, $37,900 for the original build on that. We just rebuilt that road and the gutters for $317,000. And then their ending balance at the end of fiscal year 24, I'm projecting it will end up at $35,000. They have enough to cover that $317 in the budget, in their fund balance. East Vine, it's basically just sitting there. There's nothing that's happening over there. They collected revenue of $56,000. It's a very small corner of that wood oak. I think that's what they call it. It transfers $15,000 to the general fund for infrastructure repayment, and the area balance at the end of 23 is $156,000. Fire Clay, their collection ends in 2033. They have a 20% low-income housing. The increment collected was $1.9 million. So that tells you that the property tax being collected in that area that was over the original amount that was coming in is 1.9. So it did what it's supposed to have done. It's increased the value in that area. Administrative fees are capped at 2%, and they were $38,000. We reimburse the school district 12% of the revenue we get, which was $231,000. There are 4 reimbursement agreements going on. We have $7.3 million we need to pay back to them at some point. The transfers funds to the wastewater and power for infrastructure repayment. Their low-income housing balance is 1.2, and their area fund balance is 2.4 right now.
And is the 1.2 included in the 2.4? They're separate, so it's really 3 points.
Those two are separate.
Okay.
So they really have 3 point something and change. Central Business District, where we're standing, the increment collection stops in 2034. There is the 20% low-income housing requirement. The increment revenue was 1.2 last year. Administrative fees are capped at 4%. They were $49,000. We reimbursed the school district $400,000 per year here. There are no private reimbursement agreements right now. Paying a 2016 bond for the property acquisition around this area, it will pay off at the same year that the increment stops being collected. It can be called in 2027 if we ever wanted to pay it off early. They transfer
they receive a transfer from the general fund for land purchases, and then the low-income housing balance on there is 1.2, and the area balance is a negative 896. So they are land rich, cash poor. As soon as we sell a piece of property or sell the 5025, the first $900,000 approximately will need to go to just make their fund balance whole. Smelter site, this is the one that the cash ends, the collection ends in calendar 2023. We'll know in March of 2024 exactly how much money they will have collected. The increment revenue last year was $1 million. We reimbursed the school district 12%, which was 121. They have the low-income housing requirement. Their admin fees were capped at 5%, which was $50,000 last year. Transfers $265,000 to the general fund to repay infrastructure costs. The balance of that as of 6/30 was $1,086,000, so that is part of the budget opening to allow them to repay that entire amount back. That's from the original street that was put in. Sales tax withheld for the homeless shelter is the other thing we're paying in there, which is $120,000. The low-income housing balance at the end of fiscal year 23 was $980,000. The area balance unrestricted was 3.1. And so far this year, you've authorized the down payment assistance to Neighbor Works of a total of $750,000. That's including the employee down payment assistance and then the other funds. And that's part of this budget opening also.
And is that part of the 980? Or will that be separate from, is that additional to the 980?
That will come out of the 980.
980, okay, thank you.
Because those are the 2023 balances.
When you say area balance unrestricted, what does that mean?
It means we can use it on anything in that area that we deem will increase the viability of the area or the businesses in the area. Or so we're talking about putting LED lights over there.
The what?
Switching out all of the lights, street lights to LED, which it's better light, less money. It's,
Right.
you know, all that better for the environment. We did some road projects over there recently. We're going to reimburse ourselves for that kind of stuff.
And that's for the smelter site.
The smelter site, yes, and those are all in the budget opening. And in summary, just it's kind of busy, but you got it in your packet. This just kind of lists everything that it did and all of, by area, and then all of the balances at the end of the year. The whole RADAs in total had $8.7 million, 3.5 of which at 6/30 was required to be used for low income or moderate income housing. Projected, based on this budget opening I'm doing and what I think will be happening for the rest of the year, by the end of the year, the low-income housing will be at 3.4, even though we're spending a bunch of it, just because it keeps growing as we do this. The smelter site will end up with about $2.3 million. Cherry Street will have $35,000 left to spend, and we'll find some sidewalks and some stuff to do in there. There's plenty of small projects over there that will help that area. And maybe even they'll do some street lighting over there, which is always good. So this budget opening that we're having the public hearing on includes $117,726 for the Cherry Street project that we repaved that road. It came in higher than we had anticipated because they decided to rebuild the whole road and a lot of curb and gutter. The smelter site, Power Department has said it'll cost them $69,150 to do the LED street light upgrade. Reimburse the CIP fund for the street recent improvements done on Cottonwood and Vine for that $709,832. Repay Murray City the remaining reimbursement due from the original build of $843,056. The original cost was approximately $5.5 million, just so you know. Put in $100,000 for the professional services to update the Central Area Station Master Plan. That's our match for a grant. Then $150,000 of low-income housing set aside for the employee down payment assistance, and $600,000 of low-income housing set aside for the Neighbor Works down payment assistance. When you pass those, I said we don't need a budget opening to do that. That was true if I took it out of the fire clay and the CBD area. But since we wanted to spend down the smelter site first, I need a budget opening so I can spend it out of their site.
Okay.
And that's what's in the budget opening.
Thank you, Brenda. Okay, this is a public hearing, so I will open it to public comments. Okay, seeing none, I will close the hearing and take it to the council. Do you have any questions? Are there any issues you would like to
Just
bring
thank you
up?
for the presentation. That was helpful seeing where all the sites sit. That's
Yes.
very helpful. Yes, very helpful.
This was excellent. Yes, Okay,
with all the information that was needed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair, will you take a motion?
yes, I would take a motion.
I will make a motion that we approve a resolution of the Redevelopment Agency of Murray City amending the budget for the fiscal year 2023-2024.
All right, do we have a second?
I second it.
All right, there has been a motion and a second. Is there discussion on the motion?
Nope.
Okay, no discussion. Would you please take the roll?
Mr. Harakisi,
Aye.
Mr. Rogers.
Aye.
Ms. Cotter.
Aye.
Ms. Turner.
Aye. Okay, motion passes unanimously. We will now go on to number 4, which is also an action item. Consideration of a resolution of the Redevelopment Agency of Murray City approving the transfer of certain portions of real property to Murray City Corporation. Phil, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here. This is basically a procedural resolution that we needed to take care of. The redevelopment agency purchased property that was included in the construction of the new City Hall complex and the extension of Hanauer Street, just to the east of us here. And those properties now, they still reside under the ownership of the RDA. They need to be transferred to the city because they basically lie in the center of the redesigned Hanauer Street. And that's where they will be. The street will take those properties. So we're asking you to approve that transfer to the city.
Okay, thank you, Phil. Are there any questions from the board?
No.
Everybody's good?
Yeah.
All right, then I will take a motion.
I will make a motion of the resolution of the redevelopment agency of Murray City RDA approving the transfer of certain portions of real property to Murray City Corporation.
I will second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Nope.
Okay, seeing none, then would you take the roll, Brooke?
Mr. Harakisi,
Aye.
Mr. Rogers.
Aye.
Ms. Cotter.
Aye.
Ms. Turner.
Aye. Okay. Now, we are on number 5, which is a discussion item on the relocation of the Townsend House.
Yes, thank you. It seems like we've talked about this an awful lot,
Oh, my goodness.
but it is an important item, and
Yes.
I needed to bring some additional information to your attention and hopefully have some discussion tonight. I was unable to solicit a bid from a local company to move the Townsend House. The one company that has previously worked with the city and in fact moved the chapel, those gentlemen are aging, their company is aging, their equipment is aging, and they did not feel confident in trying to move a structure like this. And I appreciate them for being honest. they did refer me to another company that has done quite a bit of work here in the Salt Lake area. They are Wolf Home Builders Moving. Okay, I've got it in here. I'll give you the exact title. It's Wolf House and Building Movers. They were the company that moved the Oddfellows house in downtown Salt Lake City several years ago. So they've handled all sizes of projects. The Oddfellows building is a massive structure that was quite the project when it was done. I asked them to give me a ballpark estimate of moving the Townsend house, provided all the information that we have accumulated, and showed them where it would go. Their ballpark estimate is $400,000. Now that does not include a site visit that they would have to have here to look at possible tree trimming or removal, stabilization, additional stabilization of the structure and the chimneys. And we would also have to prepare the other lot that we want it placed on with a foundation and utilities. And also site preparation includes, combining parcels, identifying all of the engineering that goes in with that land transaction as well. So realistically, we are looking at a minimum of $500,000 to move the house about 300 yards.
At a minimum.
At a minimum. Now, people have said, well, the alternative is to knock it down. And I don't want to be the one to suggest that. I have been working with staff and other people, coming up with some ideas, and one that we have landed on that I would like to talk to you about is the potential creation of a small historic square. The Townsend house can stay where it is. There is another house that is connected to the T. Rose Diner. That's known as the Margaret Cahoon house. She was a relative of the Cahoon Mansion, which is now the Murray Mansion. You could take a considerable amount less of that $500,000, remove the T. Rose Diner, restore the Margaret Cahoon house to a presentable condition. It is in worse shape than the Townsend house. It is by no means habitable at all or even ready for any kind of tours. There's a lot of work to do there. But by leaving it there, by leaving the Townsend house there, there's a small parking lot between those two homes. And those two homes and that parking lot directly are directly situated east of the mansion. We could take that parking lot and with an urban designer, a landscape architect, we could turn that into some type of a plaza that would coordinate the two historic structures across from the mansion. And I think it presents a unique opportunity for us to save that and concentrate the historic value of that area. I do not have estimates on the cost of that.
That's what I was just going to ask you.
I wanted to get your opinion on that first. I have shared this proposal with the Murray History Committee and also the Arts Advisory Committee, and they have both endorsed the proposal to do the square with those homes.
So would we then sell them, rent them out? I mean, what would we?
At this point, they would be city property, much as the Murray Mansion is. So the city would have to maintain them.
Right. Okay.
Potentially, perhaps NeighborWorks could stay in the Townsend house. I'm not sure. We'd have to talk about that. But it's a chance to preserve that last bit of history right there, and it ties in so well with the Cahoon Mansion or the Murray Mansion that it's one of the last opportunities we have to put more than just standalone things out there.
I have a few questions.
Sure.
The piece of property that we were going to move, the Townsends, what are you going to do with that piece of property?
I would anticipate it would be sold eventually.
Okay.
And a building would be placed on it,
And
or
then-
parking structure possibly, a lot of possibilities.
Okay. And you said move the T. Rose restaurant?
No, it would, the T. Rose, the dining area and that is to the west of the Cahoon house, that would come down. That would have to all be removed, and we would restore that west face of the Cahoon house to the way it was.
And then we would upgrade the Townsend house home?
Well, yeah, and I don't know how much operation, really, they would be historical structures, so perhaps you could have tours or make them available for people to just walk in and see what was, what life was like back in 1905 when it was constructed.
So,
Maybe they could see Tony in there working and they'd think that he was, from 1905.
Rent it out as hotel,
or maybe a restaurant.
bed
Possible.
and breakfast.
It is.
Good idea.
The challenge you have with changing the use is that they have to be brought up to current code.
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I have no idea what that would involve with utilities and structural reinforcement and so forth. So I really can't say.
But if it were going to have community access, it would have to be brought up to
It would have to
code
be
anyway.
safe. Yeah,
Yeah.
it would have to be safe.
Okay, and how would that fit in with the vision that we have for that area?
Well,
we have
it
a
is,
vision?
it is on the western edge of Block 1. And so this would be a concession to future development of Block 1, that one little corner right there across from the Cahoon Mansion, or from the Murray Mansion.
So that would just have to be worked in, that would be part of that?
That would be designed around.
So, yeah.
But again, as that block is designed, if this intent is known, they can design around it. And we've talked about having passageways through that block, not having a solid wall of buildings from corner to down to Fifth Ave. And you could design pedestrian walkways, alleyways that would lead people to that area as well. Public space is always a good thing, I think, and we definitely need public space around here.
Absolutely, and I just want to say I appreciate the time that you all put in this. I know that an option for us is not, I'm not supportive of tearing these structures down, and I like the idea of creating something that people can come to and be proud of in a public space. So I think that sounds like a nice area that we can have, and it doesn't necessarily fit perfectly in with all the plans, but I also don't think a $500,000 price tag minimum to move a house is necessarily the most prudent thing for us to do either. So I think that this is a great way for us to preserve these wonderful historical buildings.
Thank you. This is our window, since we are at this stage of the redevelopment of this area, that we can identify a portion of what we want to do with this area, and then as it evolves, we can work together on that.
So because we're gonna leave the Townsend, if we decide to leave the Townsend Center there, the mansion there, whatever, what were we going to put there if we did move it? What was going to happen to that piece of property?
It would just be part of the redevelopment of Block 1.
Okay,
Just be an expansion of Block 1. I don't know what would go there. Could be anything.
okay.
I think we're considering a promenade or some,
Well,
kind of
originally,
a
I think the
public
promenade was
place.
more down Hanover Street.
Yeah.
And again, this
So that
lends itself to that. I mean, they're on the east side of Hanover.
right?
The Murray Mansion's on the west side of Hanover, and so it does lend itself to that. And, it wouldn't, the promenade was an idea that Orden had, and I don't
Right.
really know how long it would be or that, but this certainly would be, would lend itself to that for a shorter distance.
Mayor has something.
No, you're go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
It's
Mayor.
okay, okay. You know what I'd love to see? After listening to you present that to us earlier, and then now today, I'm thinking the Roast Tea Diner. Keep that. I mean, they want to stay.
The what?
The Roast Tea Diner.
Tea Roast.
They
Oh,
want to stay. A Tea Roast, sorry.
Yeah.
Tea Roast Diner. They want to stay, but it's very expensive to move and redevelop one of these buildings so that it fits the standards. And I'm thinking it's so close to where Phil's talking about. This area, would it interrupt?
Well, the current location of Tea Rose would have to come down.
Oh, it would.
Yeah, it would have to come down in order to accomplish what you want with that house that is adjoining.
with it.
It would be
However,
so expensive.
in all honesty, the Tea Rose Diner is, they're really stretching their capabilities in that little facility they have, and I would hope that they would want to continue to be part of our business community here. They've got a great following, and, the redevelopment agency could work with them to, come up with something in the future too.
Well,
I mean, you guys have, that's entirely your decision if you want to try and create opportunities like that.
Well, and the majority of people that talk to us, and you've heard it, all of you council members have heard it, administration hears it, where they say, we want these quaint diners. what a ridiculous thing to get rid of the T Rose Diner. It's a quaint diner. I mean, it's exactly
Well,
what,
and even the chapel would be a
Yeah.
much better situation than
Yeah.
they have now. They would have to, you would have to build a kitchen, a commercial kitchen on the back of it probably, but that would be a much better building than what they are in currently. So again, there are a lot of opportunities that could present itself in the future.
I think that's a great idea, Phil. Thanks for providing us with options. Now,
Thank you.
if
We'll,
you
we'll
could,
continue to talk about it. I will continue to research
the
that
fund-
and try and
the
come up with some
cost.
figures.
That'd be great.
Estimates of what it would take to design it and so forth, and look at the buildings and that. I just didn't want to proceed more without talking to you folks first, because we have been focused on moving the towns in-house.
I know.
And we've either got to do that or move on.
Boy, it just doesn't sound like it makes a lot of sense.
No, it's
I
too
mean,
expensive.
Yeah.
I don't wanna spend that
And
kind of
then
money.
what would we have? I mean, you
Yeah.
know, the other thing, yeah.
Well, and we don't even know if they can move it safely without
Right.
it breaking down
They'd have to look at
or
it.
collapsing or getting it down
Well,
there.
they
and
say
then-
they can move anything
Well, yes,
for a
but
price.
Yeah,
I'd rather not risk 500,000.
yeah. And
you sound like you work for Allied. We can do anything.
Yeah, money is an amazing thing, Mayor. All right. Well, thank you.
all right, any further questions for Phil? Okay, thank you. I really appreciate your providing that. All right, now, the next, number 6 is a discussion item. It's NeighborWorks of Salt Lake, an overview of programs and open question and answer.
And we're fortunate to have Tony Simone here this evening to talk to you about that. He handles the NeighborWorks connection here in Murray. And so Tony will be here to answer all your questions, and he's yours.
All right. Thank you. Welcome, Tony.
Good evening, thank you. So first I'll just go over the different programs. I think Brenda, she had, had them up earlier, but, we currently have several different programs that we administer for the city of Murray. The Down Payment Assistance Program, which is a general program for anyone buying a home in the city of Murray who meets the qualifications, a first-time home buyer, income restrictions, all that type of stuff. And we've been doing that, I think, for 10, 12 years, and Murray has been very generous with those funds. And as you know, we've provided, I think, the last report I sent to Doug was 21 down payment assistance programs, which was about $649,000, which represented close to like $8 million worth of homes. So it was really fantastic program. The other one is the new down payment program for city employees. So that's a pilot program that you guys approved. It's $150,000. We have had several calls in the last couple of weeks regarding that. The problem is they make too much money when you bring the spouse in. So the city employee alone doesn't qualify for the first mortgage, which we know unfortunately where interest rates are today. When they bring the spousal income, which we have to do, they're over the 120% of AMI, which is the area median income. So we had several calls, have been disappointing, and I checked today. So we had one today, we haven't had anybody call in today. So eventually, I think we will get people who will qualify. Hopefully, if interest rates drop or they look at some condominiums or some lower price homes, I mean, that's going to be, I think, what they're going to be able to afford with meeting that income restriction and then, where interest rates are as well. So, but we're excited. We've had a couple of people call. But again, unfortunately, the income was a little bit too much.
Can I ask you a question on that?
Sure.
Is that income restriction a state requirement? Or is that something that you can adjust, or?
I'm gonna let JL answer, but in my mind, I was thinking we could adjust that, but
So as I understand, this is part of the RDA set aside,
Yes.
right? So it's that you have to meet those qualifications.
And the 120 is required by under law?
I assume that's it
Okay.
doesn't identify 120, but that would be the calculation, I assume.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
it's probably the biggest catch-22 where we're at right now,
Yes.
where
yes.
interest rates are so high. And I don't see them dropping. That makes me a little nervous because I don't see them dropping anytime soon, but.
Yeah. If there's a way to increase that 120 to a higher number, that would be great. I mean, that would bring in obviously a lot more people. And, you know, Murray is a little bit different than other cities. We do work with a couple other cities who don't go to the 120, and we've tried to let them know that if they stay at the 80%, which is the CDBG number, which is HUD dollars, we're just not going to be able to use the funds that are available, you know, and we can see now with the 120% of the AMI, it's difficult for them to qualify for the first mortgage and keep their income below to be able to get the down payment assistance. So, and then the other program, you know, we have the development at Trip Lane.
I was just gonna ask you, with the problem that you're having with this first one, do you think we're gonna have problems having problems on the Trip Lane one and getting people into those houses?
Yes and no. Those homes will end up being probably at market price.
So
We had,
550, 600,000, 800,000?
we're looking at probably $650,000 to $700,000. There's two reasons for that price range. One is the cost to build, and then also the other homes that are being built in that neighborhood, that's the price range. And we are concerned that we don't want to sell a home for $600,000 when the home across the street is selling for over $7,000, and they're their exact same home. I mean, those homeowners are not going to be happy, and homeowners in that area won't be happy if those homes are selling at below a market rate, price, because now that's going to be a comparable if somebody goes to refinance or sell their home, they would look at those homes and say, well, that home just sold for less than your home, so your home is valued at that number. So we're worried about that and conscious of that, of making sure that the home prices sell for what the neighborhood prices are selling for. And there's another development, I think, right around the corner, and
Yeah.
that's the price of those. So we have proposed, oh, sorry.
When Jennifer and I were at the LPC committee, meeting yesterday, and they said it was like 450 for a low-income housing, correct? Jennifer, was that correct? What? Medium. So could you start at 450 over in Trip Lane and not have to put granite countertops in and the jacuzzi tubs and all that? Could you do like a starter home there, or is it because of the value of the houses over there, you have to be within that market value because of the house values over in that area are 6 and 7 and 800,000?
Yes, I mean, part of that is we want the homes, the way we have it set up is that we're gonna build one model home.
Okay.
And then the other lots, someone will purchase the land. We're gonna have, you know, we have a builder, we have 4 homes that fit the neighborhood. I mean, we don't wanna build 1,100 square foot homes or
Yeah.
that don't fit into the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so the homeowner then will choose from those 4 designs, and what they're gonna wanna put in there, is gonna be up to them.
Okay.
So the cost of the land and then cost for them to build.
Okay.
So, and the cost of construction unfortunately has increased, you know, dramatically over the last couple of years, and that's probably doubled the cost of the construction, to build the homes. And
I
that's-
just see, Trip Lane's not gonna sell very quickly.
Pardon me?
I don't know if Trip Lane is gonna sell very quickly.
We have a list of about 35 people who are interested. Yeah.
Really?
Yes. So we collect them and tell them, and we get calls, and we put them on a spreadsheet, and we just keep adding them, and we said, by the spring, we'll let everybody know, you know, when there's
Even
ready
the
to go.
ones that, the 4 that you are going to have on a loan, or are they gonna be sold also?
So we propose that the way to make these, some of these homes as affordable is through financing and not
Right.
really through the sale of the home, right?
Right.
And that's what we had proposed, either the 60-40 or 70-30 type of loan. You know, some way of being able to make those homes more affordable for people who want to live in Murray. I mean, that was sort of the goal. And so we had come up with that proposal to see if that's something that the city might want. Instead of putting those, we had discussed, I think, a while back, putting some of those homes in the community land trust. You know, those are good, but it's really difficult for the administration of that and for the city and for you know, it's just a long, drawn-out process where they have a 99-year lease, and with the loan program is where it's a loan, it's not a grant like the other money that you have, so they're not getting free money, they're paying an interest rate. And the interest that they would pay goes back into the fund, and if they refinance in a couple of years and pay that loan off, that money goes back in to be able to use for more down payment assistance or home improvement grants or that type of stuff. So for us, we just thought that might be something that the city might be interested in doing. I mean, we could end up selling all of those homes at the market rate. Again, we want to keep the neighborhood, the homes look in that neighborhood and the prices there, because we would want people to come back and say, neighbor, why are you selling homes for $550,000? Because now my house is worth $5.
Yes.
And we don't want that. So
No,
that's again why we had proposed some way in being able to finance instead of through the purchase price of making some of those homes affordable. If not, then we end up selling, they all sell in the market rate price range, and we won't be able to have any, none of those homes will be in the sort of the affordable. And even at 650, 700,000 with that second, it's still not really affordable, but I mean, in today's times, that's where we're at,
Okay.
So. And that's it. Any other questions?
Any more questions?
I'm just
If
excited
not-
to see Trip Lane
Yeah,
and
so
what
they,
it's gonna look like.
I have one quick update on that. They're gonna start the grubbing. So that's what Dave, our real estate developer, which basically they're starting the leveling either tomorrow or Friday this week. They're gonna start leveling all out, getting it all ready. It'll take about 10 days to maybe 14 days. And then they'll start on the improvements of putting the street and the curbs in, trying to get all that stuff in before it snows, and then probably won't start building till after the first of the year, but they are working on it this week to get it all leveled and ready to go. So,
I'm excited.
All right.
okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, we're at number 7, which is a discussion item. Staff direction is needed on listing the properties of 4868, 4872, and 4878 South Box Elder Street for sale.
This is,
Bill?
this is one of the properties that Mr. Barney was talking about. I believe it's the 4872. But we have, we have done our due diligence to the best of our ability with surveying and checking county records, and we've had certified surveyors to establish these parcels. And I did have an appraisal done of the parcels, so we have a good idea of the value of them in their current condition, which is a certain level of contamination. The appraiser did know the level that we know. The report was provided to him. And I can share that price with you privately, or if we want to go into a closed session, one of these meetings, we can do that. But we have had some interest over the last couple of years from developers about this piece of property. Now, as an RDA board, you can negotiate directly with a private developer, or you can list it on like the MLS, just the multiple listing sites, and put it out there just like you would a house or something like that. So we're just asking for direction. The attorney's office felt that we should get some direction from you folks as to whether, how you feel about private negotiations or just putting it out there on a public site.
So if we were to have private negotiation, then the mayor would do that, correct? So
GL says yes.
it wouldn't be us, it would be,
I take that as a yes.
It would be the administrative side, that's correct.
okay.
So that's really what I'm looking for tonight, is just direction. You have passed a resolution to sell these, so
Right.
that is,
Right, we are
that's
gonna
the
sell
done
it,
deal.
that's just
Yes,
how we're gonna do that.
that's right, how we proceed with the sale.
Do you have a recommendation, Mayor? How do you feel about it? If you're gonna,
I think we just go through the process, and I think we should be able to expose the amount.
yeah,
Is that the right word? Disclose, thank you. I was going to say expose does not sound very good. Disclose, thanks, Jill. Cypress. Oh, anyway, so yeah, I say I say that we have a either closed meeting or we go into discussion with two at a time or one at a time, whatever you want to do. But yes,
Okay,
to your question, yes.
okay. That would be better for the city. That would,
So go with the public,
yeah,
the public advertising of it. Is that what you're saying, or
going with.
private negotiation with an individual that I have identified right now? Or we list it with an agent like Orden Yost and he would market it?
I don't know that we necessarily need an agent. I mean, it kind of sounds like,
So I
You-
think the question really is, there's somebody who's interested.
right,
We can speak just with them and sell it,
yeah.
probably.
Well, it makes sense.
Or you can offer it for sale to the public, and how
Oh.
we offer that would be something we would discuss internally. And
Okay,
decide
so
how to
it would
do
be
that.
in the city's best interest to just go ahead and, if we don't have to have a private agent or.
Yeah, we could do it without that. I mean, we could do it ourselves, just a matter of
Yeah.
advertising it.
Okay,
But the question really is, do you want to throw it out there for more people to bid on, or just, are you okay with just the one person who's interested, one group?
What's the disadvantage to having more people involved in bidding on it? Doesn't that potentially get the RDA more money?
That's what you would think, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be the idea, yes.
That's why I said I wanted to be able to talk about the amount. Dollar amount.
What I can't tell you sitting here tonight is how many would be interested. It's a rather unique parcel, I think it's fair to say.
Challenging, yes. The
Bit of a
shape of
challenge
it,
to
Okay.
the
develop.
contamination,
I gotcha.
it's not an easy development.
right. And so we have someone who's interested, willing to mitigate all the stuff.
And we
Or
had an
they would
appraisal
have-
done
They
on
would
it.
have to be, that would be a condition of.
And then but we would want to get appraisals.
Right,
On
so
the
we
place.
haven't
We,
had
yeah, we
appraisal.
do have,
Done.
we do have
So
a
the
full
appraisals are done,
appraisal
that's
of
why I
the
want to
parcel.
present those to you, so you
Okay.
can hear the appraisal and the amount that's
I,
offered.
I do know the
So we
the
do have an
appraised
offer,
value.
and it's not necessarily at the appraisal.
No, I don't, no, I
Oh.
don't.
We do not have an offer.
We do not have.
No,
We just have a
that's what I'm asking
person.
you
That's why
tonight.
they're
Person that's very,
I'm following.
very interested, but I would like you to see the appraisal and whatever he ends up offering.
So just so you know, with the RDA, it's different than the city. If the
Right.
city was doing this, we would have to go to the
Right.
public.
Yes,
But because it's RDA, we don't have to. The question is, do you want us to? Are you okay just having an internal discussion with the mayor and saying, decide what you think is best?
But
I'm-
wouldn't the more bids that we get, isn't that more money for the RDA? I mean, why just with one person?
That's what he's at.
I would like to see
It's
more
entirely your
offers from
decision.
different people. I mean, we
Then-
did that with several other pieces of property that were in the midst of selling, and so I personally, I would like to see more offers. And I know it's contaminated, I know there's problems, but that's the risk that they take, and maybe there won't be other offers. But I just don't want to take the first one.
Fair enough.
if they're willing to, I mean, we have an appraisal and they're willing to buy it at the appraisal
I guess what,
cost, I would
But you-
think that would make sense
But even
to-
you can get more
do
money out of an appraisal. You can go beyond the appraisal. I mean, houses can be appraised at 700,000 and go for 9 to 1 million.
But this property is
I know it's
probably-
contaminated, but I would like to see other offers before we settle on to one person. I would like to see more offers.
Pam, I think one of the other things that I think, and Diane mentioned this to me, it does make sense, is potentially the process moves faster with going with this individual than going and marketing. So just another data point to take into account as we think through.
Right, but this property has been sitting there how many years? Are we in that much of a hurry?
No, I'm not.
Well, if we
That's why it'd
have-
be fun to be able to have a discussion with you.
This is why I'm here tonight, so
Yeah.
you can see it's
I mean,
not
it's been sitting
a
there
snap
for
decision.
how many years, and now we want to sell it and take the first person? I don't feel comfortable with that, but that's me, but that's okay.
Do you have an opinion?
I was to say, Phil, there's no problem with the interested party going through that other way if we list it publicly, correct?
No, they could still, approach the city and bid on it, sure. That's entirely open to anyone.
Okay, do you want me to take a vote?
I would,
Do you want to,
I would like direction. So, yeah, however you
Well-
want to, a consensus, if you have a feel for that, that's all I'm looking for. You know, as I said, we have a resolution directing us to sell it.
Yeah.
And I'm just asking for direction as to which way you want to go, private negotiation or public advertisement.
okay. David, what is your sense?
I think I would support going public, listing the properties through the public channels, and then the interested parties would still have the opportunity to bid on them, or to put a proposal forward, but this way we're being more transparent with the process.
Okay, and my sense would be to leave it up to the mayor with the negotiation with the person that if that person is still interested.
If we did go that direction, it would only be I would want to have a meeting with you guys and reveal the appraised value and maybe even the offer down the road, if you go
So
the
it
direction.
would be transparent.
Very transparent, and like I said, and after that, you may say, no, we don't want to do that. We want to go public. We can go either way because it's RDA.
So at that point, you're saying if it was something that was untenable, then we could switch to the other method and go public?
Sure.
That's just what I'm trying to think through.
Yeah.
Because and Pam, I understand you want to go public.
I
right
want to
off the
go
bat.
public. We have to be transparent. This is what I'm up here for.
But we-
Transparency.
No, I
We
agree.
will be transparent whichever way we go.
If you go with the one, you're not being transparent.
Yes, we were just told we would be, correct?
We would have a closed meeting, and then if you guys said, we don't want to do that, then we open that up to
Right.
going public. And I don't care. Either way, we decide to do this. I'm
And I
good
think
with
I
it.
want to clarify the transparency part and make sure that we're all aligned on this, is that when we're saying being transparent or not being transparent, I think the mayor has described transparency to the council or to the board members regardless
Yes.
of what path he goes.
Yeah.
When it's, now, as similar to when City Hall, Arlington was listed, the public still does not necessarily know the price paid or the price that we're looking at or any of those
Like
sorts of things.
you're talking now. No, they have
No,
no idea. You
that's
guys are the
still-
only ones that know that.
Right, so that's still, so I want to make sure with the transparent discussion, it's not necessarily that we're listing it for a price. We are going to solicit bids publicly with our appraisal in hand, but they won't necessarily know. They'll come in with their bids, just like with City Hall. It was numerous, different, all over the, up and down. So that's, I think, the part I want to make sure is just going the public route doesn't necessarily change the level of transparency to the public. The level of transparency is the same regardless of what route we go. It's whether, and if ultimately the mayor sits down and converses with us and we say, we don't like this proposal, he's given us his word that he will not move forward, even though it's an administrative function, he will not move forward with it at that point, and then we would go to the public or the soliciting of bids. I want to make sure we're very clear, the soliciting of bids. The word public is a bit deceiving.
I
in this
appreciate that
case.
clarification, Gary. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Spot on.
So in that case, I'm okay discussing with the individual that has already stepped forward, considering the things that are in place and knowing that we will be consulted and ultimately be able to either move forward or not at that point. And then we could move forward to a more bid type process in the event we don't like the person that came forward.
But I have a question. How do we know that's the top bid that we could get for these pieces of property? Could there be more top bids that could outbid this person that has already come forward asking, I'd like to buy this piece of property? There could be other individuals out there that could top his bid, and I just don't want to go singling just with this one person.
I don't disagree with you, but I think once we have the appraisal in hand and we know what they're willing to offer, we'll get a good sense of where we're at. You're right, it could go for even more. But my understanding is with some of the challenges of the property is that there could be potential that it is not. So I think it's worth hearing the first, what I'm saying is let's hear the first one and then assume we can go where we want to go on that. If it comes in really strong, we may want to move forward. If we feel like it's weak and not what we want, then we don't move forward and we go with the bidding process. That's my opinion, Pam. Obviously, you have a different opinion. That's
Yeah.
okay.
And I would hate to completely lose the option that we
That's
have
my
at
thought
this
as well.
point.
I don't know if you'll lose it.
So,
I mean, the property's been sitting there for how many years, Phil?
Well, it hasn't been for sale for
I
that
know,
time
but
too, but,
Yeah,
So
don't
David,
jump
with
to
the-
conclusions before you hear what they have to offer.
Yeah.
So if you trust me,
yeah,
then trust me.
okay.
I was
So
gonna say,
we-
from my interactions with the administration, I would feel confident with going with what they're suggesting after this robust discussion that we've had.
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate that. Sorry to put you on the spot
What
like
a
that, but
challenging
that's the job. So,
Fun.
thank you.
all right, you're okay, Phil? You know how to go forward? Correct, okay, good. Okay, project updates.
Yeah, Zach is going to start that off.
All right,
Okay.
welcome, Zach.
Hello. So first one, it's really the only thing I have to chat about today, is the downtown area plan. We had our steering committee last week. It was a very robust discussion, and some things are gonna come out of that I'm really excited. We have preliminarily instructed the consultant to start to work on some designs, actually, for what we talked about earlier, about the Townsend House and stuff, as part of some of their renderings that they want to show you guys. So I told them that we think this is where it's going to go, but we weren't sure. So now I can go to them tomorrow and tell them that
Great.
we can move forward and they can design some stuff around it. Other than that, it's going well. We still anticipate being finished by the end of the year. So we'll have stuff for you. With that plan done at the end of the year, we'll still have a lot of work to do. So get ready for that. So that's all I really have. But Phil, come up and talk about the other two items.
The other update I wanted to give you was our MTAP, or Murray Transportation Assistance Program. It is a full go right now. We are working on expanding our advertising of it. We have distributed the flyers through the elementary schools and junior highs, and so we are seeing an uptick in applications and people trying to see if they qualify for it. We are also working on a Spanish language application as well. And so we're very pleased right now with the response we've had in just a little over a week. I don't have an exact number for you, but we have had people qualify that will be getting their cards in the next few days. I think there's 4 or 5 that are going out right away, but the applications do take a little bit of time to verify. We're being very careful with that, very careful with the city's money on this, making sure that it goes to the people that are in most need. And it's honestly very exciting to see the response. So I think this is going to be a very successful program going forward.
Great,
And
there's
the
been
other-
some good PR about it
Yes,
too,
yes,
which was really,
And we will continue. Rebecca in my office, my administrative assistant in the office, she's done a tremendous amount of work on this. And she's really taken this on, and she's really taken charge and ownership, more or less, of it. And it's been great to see. She's very passionate about this.
Can we stop in your office and see what the cards look like?
Yes, when I get them, I'll
Okay.
you know what, I'm sure I can get some blank ones and just bring them over to the council office so you
Yeah.
can see those, okay?
I'm very, very excited for this.
Great.
I have
We are
a
too.
few residents
Thank
that
you for
would love this.
appropriating the money for this. It's gonna be very nice. It's gonna make a difference to a lot of people. And the other update really isn't an update. 5025 South State, we're moving forward. If the mayor has anything he wants to say, we are having discussions continue with the selected developer, and hopefully we'll all hear a lot of news very soon. Anything else, Mayor?
Well, just that, don't hold me to this, but we're hoping to have this brought to you, the end of, 1st of December or end of November?
Yeah, end of November, I believe,
Okay.
is what Doug said. That's his target. for
Yeah,
it, is
so
the
we're
end of
hoping
November.
that in the next few weeks, this will be brought to you and then you'll make your decision.
It's been a long time coming.
Yes, it has.
Like it's been about a year.
That's all we have tonight, so.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
and we are adjourned.
Right, hello, everyone. I would like to thank you for coming to the Murray City Council meeting tonight. It is 6:30, so we're going to call to order. I ask that cell phones please be put on silent. And I have asked Murray Planner Zachary Smallwood to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Assuming he's still here. Where's that? He was here.
Oh, there he is.
There's Zach.
Okay, looks like we're all ready. So anyway, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. I would like to recognize the members of the City Council who are here today and recognize that Councilmember Rosalba Dominguez is excused. We also have our Executive Director Jennifer Kennedy, we have our City Attorney G.L. Critchfield, we have the Mayor Brett Hales, and our Recorder Brooke Smith. So we're going to start today with an approval of minutes. We have the minutes from the council meeting on September 19th, 2023, and the council minutes on October 3rd. Do we have any changes or adjustments from the council?
I didn't see anything.
Okay, so then I will take a motion to approve the minutes.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes of council meeting September 19th, 2023, and council meeting October 3rd, 2023.
I'll second.
Great, I have a first and a second. Brooke, will you call the roll?
Ms. Cotter?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Harekesi?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye. Thank you very much. So our our next item is a special recognition for the Murray City Employee of the Month, Crystal Hall, our utility billing customer service clerk. And this will be me and the mayor presenting. So I'd like to invite Crystal to come up to the stand right here with me and the mayor.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so I've got a little bit I'm going to read here, and then I'll turn it over to the mayor if he has anything to add. And then Crystal, if you'd like to say anything, you're more than welcome to. So Crystal has worked for Murray City in the finance department as a utility billing clerk for 11 years. She is our front and center customer service clerk that greets and assists our walk-in customers and handles many inquiry and signups over the phone every day, along with taking payments. Crystal has assisted in the training of new clerks over the years and has the gift of patience with coworkers as well as customers. Customers love her nurturing and calm demeanor. On several occasions, they will talk with her for several minutes, and in some cases, it may lead to almost an hour. Crystal doesn't hesitate to get short-tempered or impatient. She does her job in a kind and professional manner, and that's why we'd like to nominate you for Employee of the Month.
Thanks, Councilmember Rogers. Crystal, you are probably one of the nicest individuals at this city. I always say that. Whenever I see you, you're just a kind person. So we are excited to be able to present this to you. And we'll have Brenda come up after this, but we'll present to you a certificate. Now, they keep saying to me, Brett, quit saying that we're going to have on a plaque. I guess we don't do that anymore. So it's a plaque somewhere, whatever. But anyway, so this is your certificate. More important than anything, a $50 gift card for you. And we just really want to tell you how much we as a council and administration appreciate you as really dedicated employees. So thank you so much. Now we're going to have Brenda come up and say some more stuff. Thank you, Brenda.
So the reason I nominated Crystal for this is because I listened to her on the phone one day for over an hour explaining, I think it might have been budget bill to someone and how it gets reevaluated and all that stuff. And she must have explained it 5, 6 different ways. And she never got upset. She never got impatient.
She just wanted to make sure this customer understood what was going on. And I hear this over and over. I hear it from all of our customer service reps. But that particular day, I happened to listen to Crystal. And she does this. She greets everyone as they walk in the door and is willing to help everyone. And I thought it was a good thing to give Crystal her due as one of our great customer service utility billing people.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to work for Murray City. It really is. It's a great place to work. Everybody is wonderful here. It's like family.
Do you want to introduce your family?
I have my husband, Zach, and my boys, Xavier and Jackson. And all my wonderful crew in the office that joined me today. Thank you.
Congratulations, Crystal. So our second joint resolution on the agenda tonight will actually not be happening. It has been moved to our next meeting. So we will be moving on to the citizen comment portion. I'd like to remind everyone to limit your comments to 3 minutes, step up to the microphone, state your name and city of residence, and fill out the required form that Patty has. I'd also like to mention that we have a public hearing later in the meeting where we will have several items that there will be an opportunity to discuss at that time, and that this comment period is for items other than the items in the public hearing. Okay, seeing no comments, I will close the citizen comment portion and we will move on to the consent agenda. We have one item on the consent agenda tonight, and it's to consider confirmation of the mayor's appointment of Samuel Ingram to the MCCD Design Review Committee for a partial term to expire January 1st, 2024, and I will turn it over to the mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Rogers. Sam, are you here? There, right there. I didn't see you. Come on up. You know, it's been a wonderful opportunity to be able to go through these appointments. Another one, really, you saw the resume, so you know. Very, very, very well educated, very qualified for this position. So he readily accepted. Pam, is this another neighbor? My goodness, we have about 25 Pam neighbors on here. And they've all worked out awesome. So, and we appreciate our volunteers. They put in their time and effort, and there's a lot of hours spent that a lot of us have probably no idea. So anyway, so we'll present Samuel Ingram to the council, if you're willing to appoint, to the MCCD Design Review Committee for a partial term to expire January 1st, 2024.
Thank you very much, Mayor. As this is part of the consent agenda, do we have any objection to passing the consent agenda?
Nope.
Would you like a motion?
Can I do this one?
Of course.
Go ahead, Pam.
I move to approve the confirmation of the mayor's appointment of Sam Ingram to the MCCD Design Review Committee for a partial term to expire January 1st, 2024.
I'll second.
Okay, with the motion in a second, Brooke, will you call the roll?
Ms. Cotter.
Aye.
Ms. Turner.
Aye.
Mr. Hackasey.
Aye.
Mr. Rogers.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Samuel. Okay, we will be moving on to the public hearing portion of our meeting today. And there are two items in the public hearing, and it will go as follows. We'll have a staff presentation, and then we have a sponsor presentation. If we have sponsors who wish to speak to the items, they're able to speak. And then I will open up to public comments. And after public comments, I will turn it back to the council for questions and actions. And Jennifer Kennedy will be presenting.
Do you want to introduce the item?
Yes, thank you. So the first item on the public hearing tonight is to consider a resolution approving the appropriation of money for corporate purposes based on findings pursuant to Section 10-8-2 of the Utah Code.
Thank you. I'm just going to present from here if it's okay, because I have a lot of parts in this this item. So as you know, over the past couple of weeks, we've been or the past month or so, you guys have been talking about donating money to nonprofits. This is our public hearing. We're finally to that point. During the last meeting, when you discussed the applications, there were you requested information from some additional organizations. I've reached out to all those organizations, and the ones that responded, that information was in your packet. We've told all the organizations they can have one representative do a 5-minute presentation for you, so I thought we could just call them up one by one, have them do their presentations, and then just take the public hearing from there, unless you guys have any questions.
While they're up here, can we ask them questions, or should we wait until everyone is back on? Oh, sorry. So while they're up here doing their presentation, can we do questions then, or should we wait until everyone is all done with their presentation?
So I would wait till they are done with their 5-minute presentation,
Okay.
and then we can ask any questions of them while they're still up here.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, so the first one I have on my list is the Murray Symphony. Is there a representative here tonight from the Murray Symphony? And what about the Ballet Center, Murray Ballet Center? Could you just walk up there and state your name, please? The microphone's not on.
Oh, okay. I'm Susan Wright. I'm the owner of the Ballet Center. Michelle is our artistic director, and she was going to come, but unfortunately, she's teaching ballet. So, the Ballet Center is a nonprofit organization dedicated to the arts and education of classical ballet. We've been in Murray since 1986. And we were co-founded by William Christensen, the founder of Ballet West. And we want to keep our ballet school in the form that he wanted. He always wanted it to be the top notch and further the education of the youth. Aside from high standard of ballet instruction, Mr. C insisted on having live music. So we have pianists to accompany our dancers, which gives them also a love for the art of the music also. And we offer scholarships to people who can't afford to take ballet lessons. We try to keep our tuitions low, but we're just funded through tuitions, donations, and ticket sales. We do 4 performances a year, and we had about 1,500 people that we performed for last year. I think after COVID, it kind of really died down, but we're getting our audience back now and our students back. This would help us greatly. We were asking for $3,000. It helps us with piano salaries, repairs on the building, costuming. As we all know, there's not any money in the arts. If we break even, we had a great year. So that's what we do. So we would really appreciate some help from Murray City. We've been very good partners with them over the years. We do free workshops for students that come in, and we do that just before our show in the summer, and we have people from all over. They can come in, and our students and our teachers put on a free workshop. They're very educational. Besides Mr. C, we have brought teachers from Russia. Oleg Vinograd, he's kind of the top of the food chain for ballet. We've brought him over. He's in his late 80s, and other teachers to come in and teach these students from all over the country, all over the state, so that we can have the finest teaching available for these students. So that's all I have to say tonight. Thanks for listening to me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, the next one we have on our list is Murray Concert Band, who's asking for $2,500.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak for the Murray Concert Band's grant request tonight. My name is Pat Brimmer. The band was formed in 1986 as the Murray Westminster Band, and we practiced at Westminster College. In 1989, we moved to Murray High School and became the Murray Symphonic Band. Then in 1993, we changed the name to Murray Concert Band to avoid any confusion with the Murray Symphony. The band continues to grow, and we currently have about 60 to 65 members that perform at any given concert. Not only has the band been a good place to nurture musical talents of these members, but many friendships and even romantic relationships have grown also. In the trumpet section alone, 3 different couples have met and married in the past. I have been a member of the Murray Concert Band since 1988. Over the years, we have provided music not only for the Murray City area, but also outside the Murray City area. In 1991, we were invited to perform at the Sky Concert at Rice-Eccles Stadium on July 4th. Alan Thicke was the MC for the evening. You may remember him as the starring on Growing Pains on TV.
Yeah.
That same year, we were also invited to perform at the D Event Center for the return of our troops from Operation Desert Storm. We were honored to share the stage with several dignitaries and Marie Osmond. We have been invited to perform at the annual U.S. Marines birthday parties on several occasions. Additionally, the band has performed at the Sarah Amphitheater in Orem, Wheeler Farm, Solitude Ski Resort, the Dickens Festival, Sugar House Sugar Days Festival, and the Utah Nurses Association Convention at Snowbird. The band was also invited to play at the activation ceremony of a U.S. Army Reserve unit. And the band has been invited several times to perform in the Assembly Hall Performance Series at Temple Square. Currently, the band performs 3 indoor concerts at Hillcrest Junior High and a summer concert at Murray Park Amphitheater. The 3 indoor concerts are free to the public, but we have to charge for tickets for the summer concerts, and it is a part of the Murray Arts and Park program. We continue to perform at the Utah State Fair every year and also do 2 concerts on Memorial Day. Twice, the band has been invited to perform a special concert on Patriots' Day at the State Fair. Additionally, we perform every year for the 4th of July Sunrise program at the Murray Park Amphitheater. To appeal to a wide variety of audiences, the band plays a wide variety of music to include marches, patriotic music, big band music, classical music, and some unusual or funny music. With the continuing support of the City of Murray and the Zoo Arts and Parks program, the Murray Concert Band has continued to fulfill, in part, our mission of promoting and advancing the interests of band music and educating the public to the cultural traditions and social contributions of band music through our concerts. This support has also allowed the band to purchase percussion instruments that are very expensive. The set of chimes that we purchased a few years ago cost around $3,500. Currently, we are playing on timpanis that are over 50 years old and were first given to the Murray Symphony, who then gave them to the band after they purchased new timpanis. Our principal percussionist, Bill Marsh, takes very good care of them, but at some point it would be nice to replace them. As with so many things, inflation has made it more difficult for the band expense-wise. Just this past summer, we had to pay out over $700 for a rental truck to get all of our equipment, percussion equipment, and music stands to the amphitheater for our summer concert. Similarly, we paid out $252 for a rental truck to get our equipment to the State Fair in September. Just a few years ago, our expenses for the summer concert were under $300. Also, after this grant request was submitted in January, we updated our percussion equipment list for insurance purposes, and our insurance premium nearly doubled to over $2,000. We have ongoing expenses for personnel, supplies, and our storage shed where we keep equipment that will not fit in the instrument room in Hillcrest Junior High. The band has a concert scheduled for November 11th at Hillcrest Junior High. The program was designed to honor our veterans. Our announcer for the evening is a retired warrant officer who will be in military uniform. The Utah National Guard will provide a color guard. Arrangements are being made to have a military vehicle display in the parking lot and a military uniform and equipment display inside the building. I would like to invite each of you to join us on November 11th for this very special concert to honor our veterans. In conclusion, the band has always been proud to represent the City of Murray whenever they perform, and on behalf of the band, I would like to thank you for considering our grant application.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next we will have the Murray Greenhouse Foundation, who's asking for $25,000. After the Murray Greenhouse Foundation, the Boys and Girls Club will be up.
Hi, I'm Sheila Wall. This is Ruth Iyer. Yeah, you know her. Oh, she is going to be, she's going to show some pictures as we speak, so that we can multitask here. Anyway, the Murray Greenhouse Foundation is a center for day program for disabled adults ranging from the age of 22 up to 70 right now. Right now we can take 19 students plus 4 staff is what our license says, and we're hoping that with an addition, we have a waiting list right now for students. We call them students, these young adults. I'm going to have Ruth show you. This is kind of the kids last Christmas, kind of a up-to-date list of, or a picture of the kids that attend the Murray Greenhouse. So we are a respite for families. I get emotional, sorry. We were founded in 2003 with Ted and Ruth Iyer. We opened in 2008 with probably 6 or 7 students. We now are maxed out with a waiting list. And during the day, they learn life skills. You can't hire good help anymore. Anyway, we teach them life skills. We do basic math. We do spelling, money counting, anything that can help them in their daily lives and help them to be a little bit more independent, I guess is the word. And they know what day, every day of the week, we have a different subject and a different theme for the day where we teach them history or science or anything else. So, yes. So we have our greenhouse in the back, which Murray City has been wonderful and bought you all of your annuals from us the last 7 years. Now we've had to downsize due to volunteers that I don't have. So we are, but Polly and I, we've got some things we're still going to do for you next year. So we're really excited about that. But this is Shelley, Ruth's daughter, and she was out. And so the students have to be responsible to help us take care of the Murray Greenhouse. They have chores every day. Shelley is our pine cone and pine needle picker-upper. Yeah, every day instead of doing sidewalk chalk or something, she is hauling stuff to the dumpster. So she's great.
Oh.
Yes.
They like to work in the greenhouse.
And they love the greenhouse. Sometimes with the stuff that's the only income we have other than donations and grants. So it helps us to earn more money to keep the cost down for parents. We target families that do not have funding through the state. Most of our students are non-funded, so we try to keep that cost down so that it's affordable. I think we are the lowest priced program right now in the state for what we offer, and we kind of pride ourselves on that.
They give them water to drink.
Yeah, yes, yes. They're hydrated, yes. And now, since COVID, they have to bring their own water bottles, but we fill them up for them. Anyway, we are just we've run out of room, we've run out of ability to help families that need this kind of a day program. My son's, in a wheelchair with cerebral palsy, very limited communication. But this is a place where he can go and he can feel accepted. He can be with people that understand, don't need to speak to know what's in each other's hearts or what each other wants. He's, I don't know what I would do without this. And of course, it's turned into my full-time non-paying job. And I started it for my son, and now I've got 40 kids that I'm responsible for, and hopefully thank you for the permit, by the way. We got our permit, and the foundation is poured for the sunroom, so we're kind of on our way, and the kids are so excited, so appreciate your time.
Could I just say something about her son?
Uh-oh.
No, Riley is amazing. He really is. He can't talk.
He does some sign language.
He does sign language. And my younger son and his wife just had a baby and came early, but Shelley brought a picture of the baby when it was in the womb, and before he was born. And she showed it to Riley, and Riley made the sign of boy. And so when when my little grandson came, it was a boy. And I told him, I said, you need to name the boy Riley.
That is not his first prediction. He tells people they're pregnant when they don't even know it, so.
He's very good at that, yeah.
It's a good thing he doesn't have very many words, or it'd be scary what he'd tell everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, could I ask you guys to remain at the stand for a second? And I'm going to actually turn it to see if the council has any questions.
Oh.
For the presenters.
So this is the first time that you have requested funds from the city?
Yes, Salt Lake County has helped us once we got the greenhouse and a couple of other things, but Murray City, back when Mayor Snar was the mayor when we first started this, and he came in on his own time, him and his son came and demolished the old garage that was there to help us get going. Serves not only disabled adults, young adults is what we call them in the community, but outlying communities, so it brings them into Murray, and they can, whether students are with us, they're out shopping in Murray, so it brings a lot of people in there, into the city. And yeah, this is our first time.
Hey, can I ask something real quick? I want to tell you, I'm not good with garages, but my wife is better than Dan Snar with garages, so we'll send her over.
Send her over. Send her over.
We'll send, she just retired, so
Tell her to come on over.
she'll love to come over, so.
I'm curious as to why. Why is this the first time that you've requested funds from Murray City?
Because I'm a little bit shy in asking and begging for, or asking for help. It's just something we'd like to be able to do what we can. And so far, everything we have is paid for. The Murray Rotary Club has helped us year after year after year, not only with manpower, they come in and weed for us. Small donations here and there, but this is the first time that we are finding where we have to do something to be able to offer this program to more people than what we have, because it hurts me every time I get a call and I say, I'm sorry.
So your needs have expanded then?
Exactly. Far more than what we're going to get with this little sunroom. We couldn't afford a full addition. We had a bid before COVID, and now it's tripled. We thought we had enough funds, and so we've had to kind of downsize.
You've seen that building down the street that's
Yeah.
for autistic.
Yeah,
folks.
we
Yeah.
don't have that kind of backup, this is all just the kindness of people's hearts, and we get a little profit from Murray City through buying your flowers from us, so that's helped.
Thank you.
I
Thank
have a
you.
couple of questions.
Okay.
I know some of these kids.
Do you?
Yeah.
So you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these adults have to come in and they have to give a tuition of $33
Yes.
a month, correct?
A day.
A day.
Which includes their lunch.
Right.
And everything, and the only thing that pays for is the salary for the teachers, and maybe the electrical bill or here or there, everything else,
So it's $33 a day.
Yes.
And if they come every day,
Well, some of them do. Some come 2 days a week, some come all 5. It just
Does
depending on what the
Shelley
family.
come-
Only goes 5 days a week.
Shelley comes 5 days a
My
week.
son comes 5 days a week,
And that's $33 every single day.
and yeah.
And what's really remarkable to me is when you said you have to expand.
Yeah.
Because that shows to me, you should see up here in front of me. I have so many papers.
I bet.
And to me, when you said that you had to expand and that you're outgrowing, that says a lot to me.
Yeah, we'd like the building down the street. That would be.
Well, of course. But that says a lot that the people are coming here out of Murray to buy your products.
Yeah.
And to me, they're coming in, they're buying the products, the money goes back into the greenhouse, it goes back to the kids, and then the
Right.
kids are learning, correct?
Yes.
How to take care of plants,
Or
watering
how to kill
them.
them sometimes, so.
Yes, but it's a learning process for them.
It is.
And it's a place for them to call their own.
And they do. In fact, parents will come in, they'll kick them. This isn't your place. They'll say, this is ours. I'm allowed there, but some of the other parents will come in and they'll say, you need to leave. You know, Sheila's the boss, she can be here, but they like that. And like if one of the students is sick, we just had a student test positive last Monday. So it's, they're all kind of high risk, should I say.
Yeah.
So just what it's cost us to try to keep them safe, have barriers. They don't understand the personal bubble as well as other people do. But we spend a lot of money on hand sanitizer, let me tell you, so.
And if you haven't been to the greenhouse, you really need to go, and you need to
Come.
be there when the kids are there.
Yeah, and I'm saying these bands, the ballet, they should come perform for these kids. It would make their day. Yeah.
And they have lessons. So I always ask Shelley when I pick her up, what did you learn today? And she would tell me.
Yeah.
That, she said she had a lesson and what exactly they got to do. And a lot of times they'll be able to go out and do some laps and play basketball and then when they're inside, they're learning. They're being taught. They're being taken care of.
It's not a babysitting
No.
facility. That is not our
No.
goal. This is, and we, they have lunch and then they have to do some physical activity.
Yep.
They do Richard Simmons, jazzercise, really well when it's cold. And then in the winter, when the greenhouse is empty and it's too cold to go outside, we do laps around the greenhouse. So we try to, teach them a little bit of everything. Sometimes you can do the same lesson several times in a week and they, it's the retention, but it teaches them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they get great socialization.
Yeah.
And that's important, that they have real good friends.
And let me tell you, if you come to buy flowers from us, you're going to have one of them following you up and down the aisles, and they'll take it out to your car for you, too. So. Anything else that I could?
No question, just a comment. I've been to the greenhouse, very impressed. They have great flowers, and so I highly recommend the residents to go check it out and see, because it is a great opportunity to give back and make your front porch and your yard look beautiful, so. And they'll even let you bring your pots and they'll plant them for you, and then you can bring them home. So I'll be doing that this next year. So.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next up, we'll have Amanda Hughes from the Boys and Girls Club, who is asking for $100,000. They will be followed by Lindsay Smith with Miss Murray.
I did prepare a PowerPoint. Is it possible to slip that in? I know. Thank you, Jennifer. Tech support.
It doesn't stay, you just gotta pop it in there.
Click on it again. Oh, it's a PDF.
Yeah.
Okay. Here.
I have it on the PowerPoint.
Oh, would you like it on the PowerPoint? Oh. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, and thank you for your patience as we set that up. My name's Amanda. I'm the CEO for Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Salt Lake, and I'm here to speak to the council on behalf of our request for funding for our Murray Boys and Girls Clubs located at 244 East Myrtle. Our operating budget for that specific site is just over $2.4 million, and we're asking for the continued support from Murray City for $100,000, which represents about 4% of our annual budget. Last year in 2022, we served over 700 youth from the ages of 3.5 to 18 at our Murray location, and 51% of them, 53% of them, well, I'll double check, were 53% or 379 youth were from Murray City. And we provide full comprehensive after-school care and all day during the summer care for kids and teens. I know we've been around and in the heart of Murray City for over 50 years, starting in 1967, running those programs every day, Monday through Friday, and all day in the summer for little to no cost for our families. Our registration fee for our first grade all the way through 12th grade registration is $20 for the entire school year and $20 for the entire summer. And then a very low cost tuition for our pre-K and kindergarten programs as well, to make our programs affordable and accessible. Because the Utah After School Network mentions a report that found that for every youth that is enrolled in an after-school program, there are 3 remaining on a waiting list. We currently have a waiting list at our Murray location of over 30 families that we're looking to actively find ways to hire more staff, bring more employees on, so that we can bring those youth into our clubs and meet their needs for our families as well. The services you might find as you walk through one of our clubhouse doors, as many of you have been able to visit, homework help, STEM, hands-on STEM classes in our STEM lab, our social emotional support, prevention education programs such as substance abuse and life skills, and workforce development and college preparation for our teenagers as well. We know that we serve more than just our families, or than just the kids who walk through our clubhouse doors. We know we support the entire family. We keep working families working by providing access for affordable, quality after-school programs for their kids. While mom and dad are working, our kids are picked up from every school in Murray School District and brought into our club programs. They get their homework, they get their snack, they get their physical activity out for the day, and then they go into those different targeted programs for the day and are ready when mom and dad are off work and picking them up at 6:30. We also provide before school care as well, so we open at 6:30, so mom and dad who may need to be at a shift job before a traditional 9 a.m. or 8:30 when schools are open can drop their kids off. They get breakfast, they get on the van, and they go to their local school in the morning as well. So we know that we really are providing a service to the entire family. In fact, 82% of our families and parents that surveyed at our Murray location said that they felt positively about the club staff. They felt like their parents said that their kids feel safe at our location and that the club plays a significant role in their families' lives. As I mentioned at the beginning, we serve over 700 youth with 53%. Here you can see some of those exact numbers for the Murray City zip codes. And that our places of our programs are...
Can you just go back to that slide again?
Sure.
You went really fast. I just want to look at that.
Sure. And you should have had this in your attachments
Yeah, we
as
do.
well.
I
Yep.
just wanted to check one more thing.
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you.
Is that enough time? Thank you. Yeah, so we do remain inclusive for all youth. 74% of our kids come from low to moderate income households, 50% from single parent households, and 49% of our youth are from families of color or Black, Indigenous people of color. We also have some of the best staff in the state that have been recognized by the Utah After School Network. Justice Fields is one of our direct staff. She was named the Direct Service Staff of the Year by the Utah After School Network, and Joni Record is our Director of Child Care, and Salt Lake County Health Department named her the Child Care Director of the Year for the state of Utah. So we've got the best of the best there. These are some of the schools that we provide transportation to, both before school and after school. Most of the schools in Murray School District, we provide transportation with one of our 9 vehicles or 2 buses. I just thought this was an interesting piece of statistics as we're talking about the benefit back to the community and how we serve and provide resources to the community. And in fact, it's a better case and business case for Murray City to invent in preventative after-school programs rather than to prevent or invest in other programs that are designed for intervention after an occurrence has occurred. The average annual cost for each youth who's involved in the juvenile justice system is $148,000. Our cost to serve each youth is $3,400, and as I mentioned, we pass that only on in the form of a $20 registration fee to our youth. I know that's time, so I wanted to leave some of that options for questions will be after or now. Okay, thank you.
Yep, I'll turn it over to the council if they have any questions.
I just wanted to make a comment that from what I did a tour of your facility, and I'm very impressed with what you all do. If people have not had a chance to tour it and see what it's about, some very incredible facilities in there, whether it's the STEM lab that I think is fairly new, if I recall.
Yes.
And it was a really neat thing to see. And then the young adult area, I want to say that had, different opportunity. It was just really nice how it's set up to help children transition through different phases in life too. So I thought that was very nice. And it is a bit alarming for me to hear that there's 30 families on the waiting list, and that's just 30 families for now. I'm sure there's more than that, and that could be multiple children in each one of those families as well.
Correct. Yeah, we try to maintain, for safety reasons, that ratio of 1 to 20, one staff member for every 20 youth served. So as we hire additional staff, in fact, we added an additional position this school year so that we could serve 20, which is why we have 30 instead of 50. So as we continue to add positions and fill vacant positions, we can continue to release our waiting list.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, so you did not increase your request.
Correct.
The same as last year's.
Correct, we did not. Although our costs have gone up significantly, thanks to the local markets that everyone's seeing, but yes.
Right.
We maintained a flat ask this year.
I think you provide an amazing service for our community, and I really appreciate it. And I want to thank you for that. And I know it's a hard job, but you do great. So thank you.
No, we appreciate that. And we appreciate the long partnership with Murray City too. So thank you.
So when I was going through your report, you mentioned other cities that come in here.
Yep.
Do you get any money from any of the other council? Do you go to the front of the council to ask for money from them?
We haven't since COVID. Historically, there have been a couple of opportunities where we have gone in. The Taylorsville CDBG have been an eligible source of funding for a percentage, whatever the percentage is from Taylorsville, we can ask for that amount.
And what is that percentage that you ask for?
It depends on the number of kids that we have enrolled, our percentage. So if we have 7% of kids from Taylorsville, we could ask for 7% of the budget costs for that to come from Taylorsville. That has not been open recently, so we're still looking at those other avenues. We do receive funding in our other cities and municipalities in Salt Lake County and Tooele and Carbon County that support the sites that are in their city limits. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we do have county funds too that benefit all 7 of our all 5 of our Salt Lake County.
Do you get anything from Midvale at all?
Yeah, we do.
And what is the percentage on that?
From the budget size to there, it's probably about half of what we see proportionately. It's about 2% of our budget there. But so, I mean, I can give you a flat figure. We've been historically in their budget for $40,000 a year, and it's about half the size that we serve here in Murray, square footage wise and number of youth served.
Okay. And so from what the report I've read through, that it sounds like, and I've been on the council, this is my second year, that it looked like the Murray City has given 100,000 for the from what my report says, for 6 years.
That seems accurate.
And
yes.
then you got free rent for being in the Creekside Alternative School, correct?
Yes, so from the time that the city purchased it from the school district,
And
we
do
were
you know
already
how
in
many
there.
years that was?
I know we moved into that facility in 2015, but the first few years it was an agreement with the school district. And then whenever it was that the city purchased it, I would believe that was in 2018 or 19.
Okay.
And then we were removed right earlier this year, so we had to relocate our offices from that building. So that's no longer a service, but we certainly appreciated the space while we were
Right.
there.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yes, and we maintained all facility costs and full liability and property insurance on that. And so,
Yep.
so we did have some overhead while we were there.
Right, okay. But the city didn't charge you rent?
Correct.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Sure. Any
Okay,
other questions?
Any other questions or comments? Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, up next we will have Lindsay Smith with the Miss Murray Scholarship, and following that will be the Murray Area Chamber of Commerce.
While I'm getting some technology help, I just want my Miss Murray crew to wave. I've got my judge's chair here. I've got a couple of people from Miss Utah, and my Miss Murrays, will you wave? I've got some Miss Murrays here. I've got our current Miss Murray and our Murray's little miss. Oh, no. It's asking me questions. Use screen, Mary? Did I choose wrong?
Lindsay, I've got a PowerPoint ready if we need it.
Doesn't look like it. It's green there.
Not from iPad. Do you have?
I do not. Oh, this makes me so sad. Well, you don't though. It's just screenshots, so none of the animation works. Okay. Well, if I turn it towards you, can you see it from here? Probably not. But I'm going to give it a good effort anyway. Hello, Council. My name is Lindsay Smith, and I am the new director of the Miss Murray Scholarship Organization. The Miss America organization has been around for over 100 years, and the earliest Miss Murray we have recorded is from 1937. While the particulars of the competition have evolved over the years, the goal has always been on providing scholarships to young women to further their education. Can you see this video? As the director of Miss Murray, I see my job in kind of 3 parts throughout the year, and by job I mean volunteer position. The first one is building life skills. So we start with women from Murray City between the ages of 18 to 28 to come and participate in the Miss Murray organization. Run completely by volunteers, we offer 3 to 4 workshops that are essentially professional development workshops to inspire these women to be the best versions of themselves. We work on their resumes, we talk about their community service initiatives because whoever is crowned Miss Murray has to implement that into Murray City during her year. We work on public speaking, interview skills, building confidence, and all of these are life skills that they take with them through the rest of their life. Part 2 of my volunteer job is the actual competition, which is something that Murray residents look forward to coming and seeing every year. These women compete in several categories. They have private interview, onstage question, talent, fitness evening gown, and at the end of the night, scholarship money is what is awarded. Miss Murray and her 2 attendants are competing for scholarship money, and then we also like to acknowledge excellence in other ways, as far as we have a talent award, we have a spirit award, a People's Choice Award, and then following that same vein of acknowledging excellence in women, we have the Woman of Achievement Award, where we take a woman from Murray City and we acknowledge her the night of the competition. Part 3 of the job is Miss Murray's year of service. Once a Miss Murray has the crown placed on her head, we hit the ground running. So we have to implement her community service initiative into the city. She is a volunteer for different community events. She's a mentor to Murray's Little Miss, which is our little sister program. And then probably one of the most fun things she gets to do is she rides on the Murray float and represents us in, this summer, it was 12 parades, I believe, throughout the Salt Lake Valley. Scholarships are awarded after Miss Murray and her attendants have completed their year of service. So last year, I took over the program to get our Emma crowned Miss Murray last October. She has completed her year of service, as have her attendants, so she is now entitled to collect her scholarship money, and for that royalty, it's a collective $4,900 in scholarship money. For almost 30 years, this program was run by Lisa Lloyd, who, if you know her and love her, she was a force to be reckoned with. And the way the finances have worked in the past, she unexpectedly died last year and didn't leave behind a manual. So I have been put in the position of kind of trying to piece together what I think the money was used for in the previous amounts that have been granted to this organization. The reality is she was a teacher at Murray High School, and she had access to the dance studio and the Murray High School auditorium at no cost. So when I sat down and looked at what it would cost to operate the program at the same way she did, it would be close to $7,500 in rental fees to the Murray School District to maintain the same level of professionalism that she's established in almost 30 years as the previous director. There's also a lot of other costs associated with running this program. Things as simple as supplies for Miss Murray to implement her social impact community service initiative into the city, paying for her food and lodging to send her to Miss Utah and represent Murray City. I want this program to be accessible to everyone. I want this to be affordable. I don't want to charge women for their participation, but we have costs like their headshots and their programs and all of these other things that come up. And so ticket sales and donations do offset some of those costs. But my hope for the future is that we can continue empowering women to lead, that we can continue to provide these opportunities for women to serve Murray City, and that we can create role models for the next generation of women in Murray City. I myself was a Miss Murray back in 2006, and so to be in this position now, to take over this organization and hold the door open for women to follow in legacy, I'm absolutely honored to be in the position to do that. But the way it operated before with a teacher in charge of it at Murray High School is no longer sustainable. So to move forward, it just has to kind of be reevaluated, and that is from the generous support and funding from Murray City. So thank you, and I'm so sorry you can't see this cute video. There they are.
What is the request?
Any questions?
Yes, I'll turn it over to the council for questions.
Councilmember Turner just asked how much they requested. I failed to mention that. They requested $14,000.
I have some questions. Does Miss Murray compete for Miss Utah? Okay, and have we had a successful Miss Murray make it to become our Miss Utah that you're aware of? No.
As far as I know, we have not had a Miss Murray win Miss Utah yet. Morgan was there last year. She placed in the top 15.
Okay,
She was there as Miss Cottonwood, though. She was not there as Miss Murray. She was Miss Murray the year before.
Okay.
But it's not out of the realm of possibilities,
No,
you guys.
it's wonderful.
We can do it.
And you mentioned donations. Who do you receive donations from?
This is all new. So,
Okay.
things like last year we were able to, with the headshots, because the judges have to have what their face looks like with their resume so they can kind of get to know them before they meet them. I was able to get a photographer to donate headshots, which is a huge cost. And I'm willing to beg, borrow, and steal anywhere I can to get that help, because that would be hundreds of dollars if we had to hire somebody. So anybody that's willing to throw something our way to help, I'm not picky.
And then, do you receive any other funding other than Murray City, or historically received any other funding?
I don't believe so.
Not that you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of.
And the current, basically, there's no money currently in the organization. So
This
it's the
is- this is a
14,000 is
clean
what?
start.
Okay.
Yes.
And so and we've accounted for that money has all been spent appropriately and paid out and
From
from
previous-
previous years, as far as you know.
As far as I know. The royalty that I'm responsible for that was crowned last year, some of this funds is to pay them out for the year they
The
just served.
$4,900 is
Yes,
what that
is
would
coming
pay
out
out.
of
So
this.
then the remainder that you will have for this year is $9,100. And so,
3,000 of that I would like to pay to Dakota, who will be serving as Miss Murray until the spring. Typically, the competition has been in the fall, but funding hadn't been figured out yet, so we postponed. So I would like to pay her a full $3,000 when she finishes in the spring, and then we would crown a new Miss Murray. So I'd be at 6,000, I'm not a math person.
no, that's okay. Okay, because it's 3,000 for the scholarship. For some reason, I had 5,000 sitting in my head.
Well, I thought the
Oh, I would love for it to be, I would love to give more.
No, I just needed to refer to my notes. It's 3,000.
Oh, it's not 4,900?
4,900
Is
is the,
for Miss Murray and her first and second attendant, for the three of them.
For the three of them, and you divide that between the three of them?
It's 3,000 for Miss Murray, and then it's
800 for the first runner,
uh-huh,
and
and
600 for the second
yes.
runner.
Okay.
So they completed their summer of
And Little
riding the
Miss Mary's
float.
500.
Okay. And then, go ahead, Diane.
So I can't believe you can run this organization on that much money. That's crazy.
Honestly, when I started putting it down, I was like, have I not asked for enough? It'll be fine.
Are there other funding sources that you're aware of, like Miss America National, or, I mean, there has to be something that.
Yeah,
Oh
this
my
entire,
goodness.
Miss Utah speaking up over here. It's a volunteer program. I mean, I have felt in the last year since taking over this program, just the empowerment of sisterhood and giving back, right? Like you move ahead and you turn around and you pull people up with you. And so it's all volunteer run, and the scholarships, I mean, some people aren't necessarily representing a city, so they could just be a sponsored person. This is a little bit more special, I think, because this is not just a ticket to go to Miss Utah. This is an opportunity to serve Murray City and do good in the community rather than just competing for scholarship money. That makes sense?
Do you solicit for donations?
I will
mean-
start. This is all new. So I'm starting from ground zero. So absolutely, I will be trying to get donations from flowers and from, I mean, anything and anywhere. We've had a partnership, I mean, back when I was Miss Murray, we had a partnership with Dillard's. They would give Miss Murray an outfit. We've always allotted $500 for the dresses for the float, which $500 now compared to 2006 for 3 dresses. I mean, the money doesn't go as far as it used to.
Wow.
And I think I won, Carrie, did you get $2,500? You were up to $3,000. I was $2,500 in 2006. And that money does not go nearly as far for scholarships now as it did then.
So this is kind of seed money then?
Hopefully, yes. I have so many dreams of how I would like to build this and where I would like to take it and continue the legacy that has been established for so long, and then continue to push it to the next level within this community.
Okay.
Hi, Lindsay.
Hi, Pam.
Why isn't the school district helping you? Have you gone to the school district? Have you asked them, can we go in and use a room in the morning at 5:30
Who doesn't love a 5:30 meeting about public
Whatever,
speaking?
because, you know, you've got cheer and dance going on and Spartonians and, you know, all the other.
Yes.
So have you approached them? Have you asked them for anything at all? And what was their reply? Is it because of liability?
It's just that it's not a school activity, so it's an outside rental like anything else.
But it was a school activity when Miss Lloyd was over it.
I think only because she was the dance company teacher. So she had that office, she had that dance room to operate out of, she held all of her workshops there. I mean, that was the hub for Miss Murray. It had a physical location, which was great for girls to practice their talent. I mean, she had a space to operate from, and I don't have that.
So where are you going to hold these? Because when I went to watch the pageant, you had it at Murray High, and we bought tickets. So where are you going to hold these?
In October last year, we did it at Hillcrest because it was the cheaper option than Murray High School. We moved it over there. And I mean, ideally, I would love for the new Murray Theater to be the home of Miss Murray. I was on the research task force for that theater, and I was talking to Lori Edmonds because I'm on the Murray Arts Advisory Board, and we were talking about how the city, we can waive city things. So future goal, I would love for that. There's just nothing to do right now. We have to rent from the school district for now.
And can you tell us how much it costs for you to rent Hillcrest?
Yes. They gave us a discounted rate. It's somewhere in here in my notes. They gave us a discounted rate because of our 501c3 status.
Oh, so you are a 501.
We are now. It never has been before.
But you are now.
We are now, yes.
Okay.
So these are all steps that
was one of my
I'm
questions.
moving forward
Yes,
into,
okay.
yes. Oh,
Okay.
I don't want to tell you a wrong number. It is a
Did you see it
discounted rate.
in the paperwork?
I think is it just operational costs? Sorry. Is it the white little square that says operational costs on the slides? I think that talks about the hourly
Yes.
rates that you pay in for things.
That's what Murray High School costs.
Okay. Yeah, Murray
Not
High School Auditorium,
Hillcrest.
$175 an hour.
But that is when you have the pageant, right?
Yeah, but for a
For
workshop.
the stage, yeah.
dance
The dance
studio-
room is
But does it say
$50 an hour.
Hillcrest?
It just says like workshop 1, dance studio, 3 hours for $150. Workshop 2, dance studio, 3 hours for $150. So it just goes through a list of these
To
different things.
do it the way it has always been done.
Correct.
Now, I'm using the Murray Library to do interview workshops. You know, I'm trying to be as creative as possible. But sometimes you just need space to operate out of.
I know.
And different cities are different. Some cities provide that. So it just depends. Every city is different in how they handle their programs. And so I think this has been pretty
How many
self-operational because you just could hand some money and then she could just take care of it because she worked there.
And how many hours are you in Hillcrest? In a day?
Originally, it was a full week of rehearsals leading up to the competition.
Right, okay.
Last year, I did 2-hour rehearsals and then threw them on stage, which we did it. I mean, it was okay. We survived, yeah. But I want to set people up for success so they feel like they've had time to do their best and be their best. But I work in entertainment, and so I can run a pretty tight ship to get a show up.
I bet you can. Get them in and get them out.
I have just another question or two. How do you advertise for this to get young ladies that want to
Contestants,
participate? Yeah,
yes.
contestants.
Social media has been our best thing so far. Calling trees of mothers. Emma's mom got us several people recruited in. I don't have the access to the school like Lisa did to, hey, high school seniors, let's compete for some scholarship money. So Dakota is really helping when she's out and she's serving the community and talking about it and being visible. I would like to, pending funding, when we start gearing up for our next competition, getting it in the Murray Journal. I want as many people as possible to know about it because the opportunity and the skills you walk away from, win or lose. I mean, I competed 3 times to win, and the things that I've learned from from those workshops I've carried with me through life. So I'm trying to break stereotypes, and I'm trying to be inclusive, and I'm trying to get as many people in as possible, and I'm open to any ideas.
And then the two things that I'll say is we have a lot of people from the business community in here this evening. I would definitely recommend connecting with some of them because that may be an opportunity for you to get some funding from some private businesses. Additionally, and ask to make it more, I don't know if this is something from the administration or what have you, but to have a member from the city be part of the panel or of some sort in selecting this individual might help make it more tied into Murray, since we are potentially giving significant funding to it. I don't know if that's something that.
Oh, I had asked about that, if we could have a council person as a judge, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, or the mayor, or.
Yes, I had cleared that with Miss
Perfect.
America, actually. I had asked
Wonderful.
about that because
Okay.
I would
just wanted to
love-
make sure, because I think that does add, since there is funds coming from the city.
And I want this program to be very integrated in
Wonderful.
what we do. We were sitting here, every person that presented tonight, I'm looking at Dakota going, go to that greenhouse, go to the Boys and Girls Club. Like, these are things that I want Miss Murray involved in, so I want that partnership.
Okay, no more questions or comments from me?
Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, and finally, we have Matt Gibbons from the Murray Chamber. The Murray Chamber's request is $60,000.
No, touch the push.
Maybe now? All right.
There you
Thanks you guys for having us out. The first thing, Jennifer, I might have a question from you, but you guys would like to see staffing documents from the chamber. I'm not exactly sure what you meant by that, other than the only paid staff member is the president's position at this time. Is there any more clarity that you guys are looking for on that front?
Were you guys looking for anything?
Is the president taking a salary?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
It's
how
the only
much is
paid
that?
position. It's $1,000 a week,
So 4,000,
$52,000 a year.
okay.
Moving on. You asked about why there were increased labor costs from 2023 to 2024. The labor cost increase is a projection based on the chamber's goals for growth. In order to achieve our goals and anticipate the service requirements going to take for the chamber to serve the community, we're going to have to hire a few paid team members. The next question was, is the MYCC affiliated with the Murray Chamber? Absolutely. The MYCC represents the dynamic youth arm of the chamber. Our commitment extends to supporting these young individuals and providing the necessary liability insurance mandated by the district, enabling them to participate in various different events. We take immense pride in nurturing and guiding the future leaders of our community. The council wanted to understand more about the chamber, what the chamber is paying for in professional services. I think that was Rosalba's question. The chamber is committed to driving the local business community forward, is embodied by the strategic investment in a dynamic and cutting-edge platform. This platform not only simplifies the process for both members and non-business entities to showcase their business, events, and exclusive offers through the chamber's website, it also fosters a powerful synergy among Murray businesses. By leveraging our platform, businesses elevate their visibility, it boosts their SEO rankings, and they tap into the power of networking and providing member-to-member offers, ensuring their growth and success are maximized. You also was interested in wanting a better understanding of the makeup of the chamber. The chamber consists of an executive board. The people on that board, there's the chairperson, the past chair, the chair-elect, the president, and the treasurer. Then we have a board, and then we have an ambassador committee. Each one of these people participate and run in various different committees. These committees include the Women in Business Committee, our Ambassador Committee, Ribbon Cutting Committee, Nominations Committee, Member Relations Committee, Events Committee, Chamber Relations, the MYCC, Government Relations, and the Charity Committee. There was a question about why the chamber is holding events in other cities. First, we always look in Murray for event locations. If the cost, the availability, or the event space is prohibitive, we look outside for other locations, especially when the event is tied to a charity event, so we can increase the amount of money we can raise. Additionally, if our requests to host events are denied by the city, we have no other choice than to search outside the city. For example, we attempted to organize a cornhole tournament in conjunction with the food trucks. The food, we reached out to the food truck organizer, and they were thrilled because the purpose was to bring more citizens and people to the park, also raise funds. That got shut down by the Parks Department. We tried to do a pickleball tournament, same thing happened there, and we wanted to do we wanted to have pavilion number 5 specifically to do a 5 and 10K run, and that got denied as well. These events would have united citizens and business, servicing fundraisers for the Spartan Closet and the other charities that we support. The other thing that's come up is why we do outside events in, say, Park City. That's been coming up. Park City Chamber actually came to one of our events here in Murray, and they were impressed by the value of our education and invited us up there to provide our education to their members, which gave us an incredible opportunity to expose the businesses in Murray to the Park City community. Let's see. One of the concerns that came up was that many of the board members don't live or have businesses in Murray. The Chamber's vision is to assemble a board of directors comprising the most accomplished individuals can provide the utmost value to the businesses in Murray. The vision transcends geographical boundaries because our mission is focused on curating unparalleled education programs, imparting the art of effective networking, and orchestrating top-tier events that serve the collective success of the city's business community. And I'm delighted to announce and share today that this transformation is already well underway. People that have harnessed the power of the Chamber's resource have personally attested to me remarking the growth of their business experience a substantial upswing ranging from 10% to 23% increase in their business. It's imperative to highlight that they have credited the substantial growth directly to the active contributions from the Chamber. If the council prioritizes ROI, return on investment, in the decision-making process, which unquestionably should, I invite you to recognize that this increase in business expansion directly bolsters the city's tax revenue, firmly aligning our mission with the economic well-being of the entire community. Any questions?
I'll turn it over to the council for questions.
How much does it cost to be a member?
It ranges, our basic membership's $600. To give some examples of that, other small networking entities, say BNI for example, Trustegrity, they're somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,000 to $1,500 a year.
And how many members do you have?
We currently have 115 businesses, but that's really not a great number because however many people that are part of those businesses, they're welcome to come to what we're doing. Our education stuff has been recognized even back east. One of our main educators, I guess is the best way to put it, is connected back in Washington, and when he went back there and shared what we were up to, they were amazed at how forward we're way ahead of everybody else, if that made any sense.
This 60,000 that you're requesting, it is an increase from prior years. What would you primarily attribute the increase to?
So the Chamber's grant, if you will, was cut, I think, in half about 6 years ago, down to the 20 range. It's just flat inflation, and it's a numbers game, in my opinion. The more businesses we help increase their revenues. It's automatically going to the bottom line and increasing the tax revenue for the city. So if we're averaging 15% and the businesses increase by 15%, it's increasing the revenue to the city and the well-being of the community.
And do you receive funding elsewhere, I assume? No. So funding is solely from the city and then dues?
Membership and city, yep.
Are you done?
No, you can go. Reserve.
So do you have a grant writer?
Yes, we're working with a grant writer right now.
And how is that turning out?
Slow. It's still in process. We're still going to pursue the grant.
Okay. And when was the last time the chamber has been audited?
By an outside auditor, I don't know that.
And also, in the report, it said that you got 60,000, and that is incorrect.
We got 60,000? No, we were asking for 60,000.
No, it was in the report that the request is 60,000, and it says previous Murray City awardee, yes, 60,000, and no, you didn't get 60,000.
Oh, I made a mistake on
No,
that.
no, no,
then.
no, that wasn't you. That was just in the report. I just wanted to pull that out for you, that you didn't get 60,000.
No.
No, no. Could you explain to me, I'm going to put you on the spot,
Good.
why last year when I was appointed by the council, I was not able to be in the budget hearing part of your,
Absolutely. So traditionally, before I was involved, the way I understood it was that a seat on the board was offered to a city council person to be a non-voting member to help communicate how we could better help the city. Versus being, my example is if I was running a business and I was working with one of my clients, I'm not gonna have them come in and be out my budget. If that answered your question.
okay.
And moving forward, Pam, because that's just how it has been. Moving forward, it's different because there's a process to be on the board, and it's a voting process. It's not just oh, by the way, you're on the board. However, as we keep moving forward with our relationship with the city, it's just going to get better and more transparent.
So was I not voted on the board last year?
I don't think there was a vote per se, or the process of going through being interviewed. The way I understood it is you took Dell's seat.
Okay.
So it was appointed then? It was an appointed?
Yeah.
So anybody that is appointed in the council will not be on the board?
That's a confusing situation because as this time, all of a sudden, you got replaced by Rizalba and we were like, what's going on here?
And because that's who the council,
Which is
appointed.
totally fine.
Right.
We're totally fine with
Right.
that.
okay,
It's just, from my perspective, just more communication.
yep.
How many of your board members or ambassadors, anyone with that's a participant in this, aside from just your standard annual payer? So anyone on the board, I think you had two tiers. You said executive board members and then you had another group of people. How many of those are from Murray, either live in Murray or have Murray businesses or businesses that may operate in Murray? What would you estimate?
3 board members live in Murray, have businesses.
And that's I think if the number's 6?
12
Okay.
board members.
Okay.
Ambassadors are chamber members. In order to be an ambassador, you must be a chamber member. And we don't close off chamber members to just Murray City businesses. I'm of the opinion that the more we help and the more we serve the valley, the more people that are gonna come back to Murray anyway. And once they learn the benefits of what Murray has to offer for businesses, unless they learn about, how are they else gonna learn about it? But when they get to see what the benefits are, maybe they wanna move their business to Murray.
My only ask, I guess, would be that if there's a way to try to encourage more Murray business or Murray resident participant in your board level, I think we ask the same of other individuals or groups that we give money out to. I understand the desire to have the best in their field. I totally, as someone who is in business, I understand that. But I do think there is value with having Murray as the name and then also with the funding that is significant from the city to have more focus on Murray. But I respect what you're saying.
And to be transparent, since I've been involved, which has been about 2.5 years, it's open to whoever wants to show up and participate.
Okay.
And take on the role.
Okay. So you don't necessarily have people fighting
No,
for
we
board
don't go,
positions?
oh, you have a
Okay.
business in Murray, we have this person over here that's a better fit, we're taking this person. That's
Okay.
not how it works.
Okay.
I have another question.
Great.
I'm wondering, do you have a relationship with our Community and Economic Development Department?
In fact, we do, and it's getting better and better. I'm so thankful Elvon's here. He actually came out and helped us partner with the Rotary this weekend, and we cleaned up along 53rd South. So that relationship continues to get better and better, and the more we work together, the stronger everything's gonna be.
Good, I think that's really important, and I don't think in the past there has been much of a relationship there, so that's very good.
I'm thrilled he's here, and we can work together we have the same goals.
Yeah, I would think so.
I have one more question. So on this page of Murray City Profit and Loss Budget Overview for the Chamber, on page 1, it says labor 140,000. Did you explain what that 140,000 was for?
You talking about next year?
Yep.
That's a projection. We intend to grow through more members, broader reach. That's what some of this funding is going to be used for. And in order for us to do that, we're going to have higher labor costs because I can't do it all.
Right. Okay.
Okay, nothing further. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, now we're going to turn it over to the public comment portion. So we ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes. Try not to restate points made by others, though we recognize that there may be some people speaking for the same organizations. And we ask that your comments are directed to the council and are about this topic. And if you do give a comment, please find Patty for the form to fill out as well.
My name is Dylan Barney, and considering no one else was standing up, I decided to break the silence and stand up. I'm impressed with the various activities that these particular groups are taking on their shoulders. I'm not sure which one. When I was working, there's a program I was familiar with that I might encourage them to take a look at, and it's known as the CFC, the Combined Federal Campaign, and that's where federal employees and federal annuitants can once a year decide what programs and organizations, whatever they want to donate money to. And I think some of these organizations here may benefit by checking into that particular program and seeing what monies they can get from that particular group, because those monies are solicited from throughout the United States and within the Mountain West area of Utah. And they may benefit from some of the money that could come from there, as well as from the ZAP program, the Zoo Arts and Parks, and from the you folks here at Murray City. And thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comment.
Again, it's known as a CFC, Combined Federal Campaign.
Hi, Sherry Van Bibber, Murray City. I just wanted to, sitting here listening to everybody, and I look at the greenhouse, and I look at the Miss Murray, and NYCC, and pretty much everyone in the chamber, we all volunteer. I look at how many hours of people that represent Murray that volunteer, all of our hours. I don't even have numbers of what the hours that we all put in. And I'm so proud of what we all do. And we have jobs. And then on top of our jobs, we're spending another third to a fourth of our time, if not more, doing this for the city because we love Murray City. And there's no thank you for it. It's basically, I mean, our passion and the love of the women, the love of the kids, the love of our businesses that come back, that I think that we feed off of, that keeps us going year after year to do that. But we are out all over the city, all over the state, and even beyond the state, with Murray in front of our name. And I think that I'm just very proud of who we are and doing what we do for nothing. And so we're appreciative that of the city to, do this, and we hope that this doesn't get, isn't a part that's given out from the city, because we are all out there representing the city all the time, and because of our love and because we're proud of Murray. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello. Where do I start? I am here on behalf of Boys and Girls Club, my beautiful friend Amanda here. I personally reached out to her and said, first I got an email from them saying that there is a chance that you guys might be questioning the funding for the Boys and Girls Club. And it really hit home, really close to me. The reason being is my son, Aiden, has now been there with the Boys and Girls Club, now going on 6 years. Little backstory, I'm a single mom, and I also, I'm a single mom, and my son immediately at 18 months had to go into daycare. For the first probably from 18 months up to 4 years old, he was bounced back and forth out of daycare after daycare after daycare. If it wasn't due to the hours or whatever, it was because the days didn't match up, being a full-time working mom. So, make a long story short, my sister-in-law's sister actually mentioned the Boys and Girls Club. Let's just say when he turned 4 and he was able to get into the program, his demeanor changed. It was like within 3 months. Before it was like having a hard time sleeping, acting out. I don't know, maybe it's just because I was a new mom and he's my firstborn, but just his demeanor changed quite a bit. Fast forward to 6 years now, he loves the Boys and Girls Club. It's saved me. I had a really ugly divorce, and I literally had maybe $100 to my name. And this is where it gets a little bit touchy, sorry. But when he started the Boys and Girls Club, that allowed me to not only finish school, but to be able to give my son a place of structure. The Boys and Girls Club, like I told Amanda, I said, they helped me raise my son. They helped me because when he was little, they picked him up. When he started school, they took him to school, they brought him to daycare. They allowed me to not only have a career, but to also finish school. Now, to this day, I have a great job. I finally finished college, I graduated. I have a flexible, I have a flexible career where I can actually go in, pick him up whenever I want. And he now loves it. I'll call him some days and he'll say, Mom, can you let me stay a little bit longer? I've got Lego club or I got STEM class. And he just loves it. So I told Amanda, I said, because of you guys and because of how much time you guys have spent with him, you guys helped me raise him. So please help with the funding. You guys are making a big, huge influence. You're helping single moms. You're helping people who are struggling with inflation. Daycares are outrageous and ridiculously expensive. So that's my piece.
Will you share your name really quick? Will you share your name?
Brittany Elder.
Thank you so much for your comment.
My name's Morgan Workman. I'm here with the Miss Murray organization, and I was actually Miss Murray in 2022, so pretty recent. But I just wanted to say, when I started out in this organization, I was a completely different person. I wasn't able to sit down and have an interview. I would stutter. I was scared. I couldn't get up in public speak. But after training in the Miss Murray organization and being Miss Murray and serving my community, and being able to make such a difference with my community service initiative, I am a completely different woman. And this program really takes females and it builds them up and it makes them into leaders and difference makers in their communities. And so I really do think it's so important that we do get this funding because it really does change lives. And I know every other Miss Murray here could attest to that. So yeah, I'm just really grateful, so thank you. And I'm Morgan Workman.
Thank you so much for your comment.
My name is Amber Robinson. I've lived in Murray my entire life. I am what you call an original. I just want to say that I have grown up in Murray and I've loved Murray. I've attended all Murray schools. I currently teach in Murray School District. And I also work for Murray City as well. I just want to say that I feel like tonight has come full circle moment for me because address the council. My daughter was Little Miss Murray in 2014, and as Little Miss Murray, she was mentored by McCall Gray, 2014. And I don't know if you remember this, Miss Sire, but my daughter and her friend Sage came to your house to heart attack you as part of her Little Miss initiative. And she was caught by the mayor. And you so kindly invited us into your home where we could meet with Shelley and talk about their mutual love for Harry Potter. And I feel like that has just been a special moment. Not only that, I remember with the Boys and Girls Club, Meg Zulo, Miss Murray 2015 maybe, she actually partnered with the Boys and Girls Club, do you remember? And she went over and taught them weekly hip hop classes because she was a dancer and wanted to involve them. And then they were in the parade on the fire truck, if you remember. So I just think a lot of things have become full circle and that Miss Murray truly has been integrated into the community for so long, and it's just become more and more. Also, I also want to say, just for the Boys and Girls Club, they do such a great job. Emma and I have a dear friend, actually won Volunteer of the Year award, Miss Farah, and just an impressive young woman that community truly has changed her life like the Miss Murray program can do for her. And I've been trying to convince her to run for Miss Murray. One day, Chris Avera will be Miss Murray. But I just want to say thank you for your support in the past. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming to the program for Miss Murray. I remember seeing you there and to all the events that these girls go to and support. It does make a difference. And I know Councilman Horowski, your little girls, when they put on that crown, it does something for these little girls. They have a mentor to look up to. When the Miss Murray places their sash on those little girls, it means something. Emma was a little girl in the audience who then became Miss Murray. It can happen, and it does change lives, like Morgan was saying. I remember her as a little girl, and what she's saying is true. That is a phenomenal young woman, and you have helped transform her life into a powerful, confident, wonderful speaker of a woman. And Dakota, getting her master's degree at University of Utah, when you send Dakota to Miss Utah, you should be proud when she walks across that stage. Very few girls that competed are in the master's program, and she will do well. So I just want to say, Mayor, Emma was roommates with Miss Lehigh, and the mayor did send her flowers while she was competing, and I thought that was really special, so tip for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. This seems like a familiar moment when I was presenting. Good to see you all again. I'm Dakota King, Miss Murray. Just to reflect what everyone said so far, this is such a great program that truly changes lives. I remember I competed back in 2020. Miss Lloyd tried to convince me over and over again to do it, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not a pageant girl. But I realized slowly that it's not about being a pageant girl. It's about exploring yourself as a person and allowing yourself to grow and seeking dreams and reaching goals. And it also took me 3 times I've competed twice, and this is a different situation, but just the experiences that you gain from the preparation. I remember I've always been a very social person, but I still would get nervous in interviews and not necessarily be confident in myself. But this program has really built up my confidence and has really inspired me to pursue great things like earning my master's. And especially one thing that's really empowering is as Miss Murray or any local title holder, we get to share our community service initiative. And one thing I found as Miss Murray is that it's given me more purpose in life. And as we pass on the crown as Miss Murray, it doesn't mean our job is done. It's only the beginning. So if you could really support and give us this money, it would be greatly appreciated. I love Murray. I know everyone here loves Murray, and we love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dakota.
Hi, my name is Camilla Larson. I am the panelist chair. And one of the biggest blessings about my job, my voluntold job, is that I have the ability to sit through the interviews. And the incredible experience is watching those girls for 2 months plan and prepare for that private 10-minute interview. And while they're in that interview, the judges get to learn so much about them. And the incredible thing is that for Miss Murray, our reach is vast. On average, there's about 8 to 12 contestants every year. And I would be willing to bet that every contestant, all 12 contestants, every year has the ability to affect change in their own lives. As Morgan was saying, and I just want to put a big exclamation on what everyone said, the ability to affect change in their own lives starts from that interview process. And watching them gain that confidence on stage is an incredible opportunity that we invite all of you to come and witness for the next Miss Murray program. So we ask for the support so that we can affect change in so many more lives.
Thank you very much.
It wasn't too long ago I was here wrapping up my end of year as Miss Murray. As you all know, I was Miss Murray 2023, and I can attest to Lindsay's blood, sweat, and tears that she has put into this program. This program truly has changed my life, and it is an educational scholarship-based program that really just helps women pursue their goals. And I can even remember talking to Councilman Gary about business and what I want to pursue in a career. And you truly have inspired me to apply to the marketing program this next year. And I am so grateful for all of your support throughout this program and throughout the years. This is a short-term investment that has long-term rewards to the city. We can even see Lindsay and all these other Miss Murrays that are here supporting, and I can attest that the future Miss Murrays will be here to continue propelling this program into the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing and turn it back to the council.
I have one question that I wanted to ask if Brenda wouldn't mind weighing in for us as our finance director for the city. This is an additional ask over what we originally had budgeted. I believe the original budget was $153,000, and we are asking, or the ask here today is for $207,000 if we were to fund everything. Brenda, what does that do in the case of reserves as well as the budget? How does this all look?
So the additional ask is $75,600. And as all of you know, interest rates have gone up. They seem to be staying up. I didn't budget for a staying up plan on interest rates. I figured they would level off and go down. We were 17% in the year. We have earned 57% of the budget for interest. So I will just raise the interest. It won't affect reserves at all. We'll just increase the budget for interest revenue and offset these other additional costs.
So there's no impact to the
There would be
reserve.
no direct impact. Of course, if we didn't do it, then those would end up in reserves later. But our interest is coming in. We're earning slightly over 5% on most of our money right now.
It's all funded through the interest we're achieving with these high interest rates.
Yes, it's all funded with the high interest rates. Until we have to borrow money, it's a great thing.
Say that again? That was,
Until we have to borrow money, it's a really good thing to have high interest rates.
okay.
Any additional comments or questions?
I just have some thoughts. I mean, seeing everyone here tonight, I think we see yet again how this community comes together and really pulls for the wonderful people that we have living here in Murray. I think that's why we all choose to live here and what makes this so great and why we all choose to serve. Both you all down in the audience as volunteers and those of us that are sitting up here and some of us in campaigns right now fighting for the important things in Murray. I do want to speak to a couple of things and just, you know, I think Brenda spoke on how we do have an opportunity right now to fund these fairly easily without impact to our residents, being that we are doing well from an interest perspective as a city. That being said, I know there has been expressed positions from different council members to relook at this program in our spring session, and it may be a different council at that point. But nevertheless, there has been an ask to look at this again as part of a workshop. And so I do want to, although we may fund all of these at the additional asks and the new items and the ones that are recurring from the prior years, I do encourage each one of the organizations to look into grants, private-public partnerships. You know, if the city comes back in the future, again, maybe looks at a match grant or something like that, that people are really thinking through, the program could look wholly different next year. And so I just want to make sure that's said now. So if we do end up funding everything, that there may not be the same amount of funds in the following year. We don't know what the economy is going to look like. We don't know if we're going to be still earning the same amount of interest, all these different things. And so I do want to caution everyone, although I'm very excited with what I've heard tonight and feel very positive moving forward with this, knowing that we can fund this without putting more burden on our residents. And in fact, I would argue that all of these programs are benefits to our residents. And so I'm really, really excited about the opportunities that I hear tonight and the different things that we have going in this great city.
So I would like to read something that the council received from our attorney back in February 17th of 2023. It was a memorandum, and in it, it says adequate consideration is required value for value. And we know that we did this study because we were, the council asked for a study and it was given to us. I don't want to pay for another study every single year for more nonprofit organizations coming to the city, and we have to keep paying for another organization to come in and do the study for us, because that's more money out of the taxpayers. So in this memorandum that we got from our city attorney, it says section, and this is why I have a hard time with this. Section 10-8-2 authorizes the council to appropriate money only for corporate purposes. The Utah Supreme Court has explained that there is no provision within Section 10-8-2 which allows a city to give away public money. In fact, public property, including money, is held in trust for the public and not be disposed of other than in good faith and for adequate consideration. Adequate consideration means that the local government must show that there is a clear present benefit
to the city's residents. That reflects fair market value for whatever is given by the local government. The city cannot donate money to private entities. Appropriation must be made in exchange for adequate consideration, i.e., for at least an equivalent value in service. Without this value for value exchange and appropriation, an expenditure constitutes an illegal gift of public money and violates Utah law. This is a law. And in addition to the adequate consideration requirement, appropriation must be authorized by the state law and made in support of a public purpose. This says to me, if the city gives money to any organization, that organization has to show the city how they provided the same amount of value back to the city. And I would like to see that. That's why we're here at this point, because the council wanted to look at this through a private person to look at all these, and he came back with every single one of these organizations, these nonprofits, do give back to the city. And so we have to follow that direction. But next year, I really would like to really deep dive into this, and I want to follow the law. I was voted because the citizens in my district and all the other districts, they want us to be very, very careful of our tax money, their tax money that they pay. I talked to a business person, and this business person said to me, lower my business taxes instead of giving money away. So, with that, let's go forward.
Can I say something, Councilmember?
Yeah, I'd like to make a quick comment. As someone who's only been on the council for about 2 months and is still figuring out and learning this whole process, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has reached out to us as council members, who have commented on the organizations, who have poured their hearts and told us why these organizations matter, what they've done in the community. And I've just been almost overwhelmed with the support that I've seen from these different organizations. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for making known the difference you make in the community and for all of the time and effort that you put in on everyone's behalf. So thank you.
I agree. Thank you for that. That was a great comment.
All right, if we don't have any other,
Can I make a statement real quick?
Yes.
So your resolution, you're going to approve or deny the resolution. As part of that, each organization, of course, has their amount of money they've asked for. During your motion, if you're changing any of them, or I just need to know for sure how much you're donating to each organization as part of your approval process.
I would ask if there's anyone that objects to taking the slate as a whole and would rather break it up, or how we look towards this to move forward.
I'm fine with taking it as a whole.
Well, after Brenda's statement, and we're not dipping into the reserves.
It's a good thing.
I support taking it as a whole as well.
Because if we were going to be dipping into the reserves, I would have a problem. So I guess we'll take it as a whole.
Okay.
But let's look at this in January. And maybe we can have it be looked at as NeighborWorks does it, and how they handle their, and have it as an interlocal agreement. Because I don't want to pay for another application person to look at our applications that we get from other, because we'll probably get other nonprofits coming. So, just to make a statement to the Boys and Girls Club, I wish this organization, I don't know where you're sitting, I wish that organization was when my mother was getting a divorce in the 1960s. We didn't have any of that. So I really appreciate all the comments, and I really appreciate that you went to college. You really yanked on my heartstrings. And I commend you for that. And as far as Miss Murray goes, girls, I've known you. Thank you for everything that you do. And the chamber, thank you. Thank you for being there with the businesses.
I will take a motion.
I will make a motion that we adopt a resolution approving the appropriation of money for corporate purposes based on findings pursuant to Section 10-8-2 of the Utah Code.
I second it.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Brooke, will you take roll?
Ms. Cotter?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Harakisi?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye. Thank you very much.
And thank you all for coming. Sincerely, we appreciate you all being here tonight. We have additional matters of business to go through.
Yeah.
But I'm going to ask for a point of privilege to take a 5-minute break.
Yeah.
This was a bit longer than we anticipated, so feel free to stay and listen to the rest of the meeting, or you are welcome to leave.
Thank you very much. One, I'm going to ask you to take your seats. We're going to reconvene momentarily. Right. Thank you all very much. We are going to move on to the next public hearing item that we have tonight. And this is to consider an ordinance related to land use that amends the general plan from low-density residential to medium-density residential and amends the zoning map from R18, which is residential single-family, to RM15, which is multiple-family medium-density residential, for the properties located at 770 and 780 West, 5300 South, and 845 West Clover Meadow Drive. Zachary Smallwood presenting.
Hello, council. Nice to see you guys again. So I broke everything. Oh my goodness. Now I have to log in with the two-factor thing, and it's gonna be a whole thing.
Time is up.
I know, and I thought, I was like, I thought, we were just gonna fly through this. Okay, now I'm not gonna touch anything. Okay, so we are here, I'm here presenting on an application made by Justin Lang, who is proposing to change the future land use map and rezone the properties at 770, 780 West, 5300 South, and 845 West Clover Meadow Drive. Located here, I wanted to start off by saying that there are no actual properties on Clover Meadow Drive. It just is this, okay, apparently I'm not going to use the things. So I'm just gonna try to do this without slides. It's currently in the R18 zone, and they are requesting to go from low-density residential to medium-density residential. It is supported by the by the moderate income housing section and housing sections of the general plan. There are multiple, in the slides that I showed you 2 weeks ago, because that's what these are, I highlighted specific elements of the general plan that would support doing this type of infill housing. Also, I kind of mentioned that Mr. Lang has been able to achieve the impossible by getting an access off 5300 South from UDOT. Really, that's kind of what I'm here to talk about. I apologize, the slides just aren't being my friend today. So, any questions?
Is the applicant here?
Yes.
Do we want to give the applicant some time to speak?
Yeah, I don't have much to add to that, I guess. So I can field questions if you have them, but pretty straightforward. It's a piece of land along 5300 South. It's pinched between two existing townhouse developments. So we just gonna make it match the rest of the road there. So there's no access from the single family neighborhood that would allow us to develop it like that, so. Yeah, that's it.
Do you plan to sell or rent these, or do you
I
have any
will
idea?
sell or partner with a developer, I can't.
Okay, this is, so you're just gonna,
I'm just doing the land. So
Okay.
I'll take it through, they call flat work, so put the roads, curbs and gutters in. I'll be involved while they develop the development plan, but yeah, I won't be building the actual units myself.
And you'll be teaching other people the secrets to getting access roads from UDOT in the
How
future?
did you do that?
I just smiled. I guess.
Wow.
So, your name?
Not bad.
Justin Lang.
Got it.
I was sure Pam was going to say your name. Oh, I taught you in school because he is a Murray. He is a Murray boy,
Hey,
so.
I know it's either gonna be Pam
Pam?
taught him or you knew him from Magna, so I just know I got all my bases covered on everything, so. I don't think there's any further questions, David.
Thank you very much. So I will now open the public hearing portion, and I'd like to remind anyone to limit their comments to 3 minutes, to speak into the microphone and to say their name and city of residence. Okay, seeing no comments, I will close the public hearing portion and turn it over to the council for comments or an action.
All right, so this afternoon, going through my emails, we as a council received this public hearing on the rezoning tonight. And it says, I'll just read both of them. I'll start with the first one. I hope I get them in order. I cannot make the meeting, but we need our voices heard. Everything Ivory Homes promised us, 10 concrete fence homes, not so close to our backyard and etc., was never followed through with. I have much damage to my house from it, shaking during construction, to which Ivory's in-house attorney advised me to repair it versus pay attorney fees, because they'll just keep it in court. With the fence, it's already caving in. They built it up with rock, and twice it's had heavy rain. It's already flooded into my yard, attached our photos. I think Murray City will have many more complaints like this if they allow more homes to be built in this area. It's already a joke with people driving through our neighborhood because of that no left turn exiting out of Ivory's community with the additional homes that are going to be built when the Galleria is or was. There literally is no more room for additional homes in this area aside for Ivory Homes. Really disappointing me after promising us all of these items so we would sign off on the project. Then they just have that guy go to a different project and give us a new project manager that acts like they don't know anything about the fence and etc. See attached photos and please vote no to additional homes. That was the first email. And then our second email, it says.
Can I just ask a question on that, Pam?
What?
Can I ask you a question on
Sure.
that comment? Is that really, so that's a development that's next to where this is? Because Ivory Homes is not necessarily the developer for this project.
No, Ivory Homes is not affiliated to this project at all.
But so is there an Ivory Homes project within this area? Is that what they're referring to?
Across 5300 South and to the east a little bit.
So it's on the other side of the street?
Yeah, it's on the other side of 5300 South.
Okay.
No, that's your.
So it's not adjacent or?
No, it's not adjacent at all, except for 53rd.
And it says from animal installations, so I don't know what that means. And the next one is another one that was sent to us. Ivory adding additional homes, comments against Ivory adding additional homes. This one is from animalinstallation@gmail.com. It says also forgot to mention the only thing we have now that doesn't make us feel totally suffocated by this community is that one sliver of space to the left there and they want to take that too. Please say no. These townhomes getting approved on every corner without more grocery store and et cetera is overwhelming our community. We don't have the roads, schools, and et cetera. For all these new communities, traffic has already been affected, and it will only get worse with no solution in the near future. Yeah, same person. So, is this from these emails, Zach, is this the community that's across 53rd, correct? And it's the little sliver that this gentleman was just here? Is Ivory doing, so where is this gentleman speaking then? These emails?
Let's clarify. They're talking about the current Ivory development. I don't understand.
In Murray Heights, right?
Yeah, in Murray Heights. I don't know.
Okay.
So when we do public noticing, we have to go a specific
Got
amount.
it.
We have to do a buffer around. And sometimes we will get people that are on that side. And so they may have received a public notice, or they might just follow the city council in general and see, when something is posted onto an agenda. So that's what I would anticipate.
And I know this development very well because this is in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I've heard from several of my residents, and they said this Ivory project wasn't turned out the way that they were hoping it. I mean, when a resident came home from a vacation, they went into their house and a big old light was in the back of their yard, and it felt like, where's our privacy? But then Murray City, I have to give credit where credit is due. Murray City came in and they just painted it black, the light, to shield it off, which was great, and they had no more complaints. But they did have a complaint about Comcast coming into their backyard, the fence not being up to par. So there was lots of complaints that Ivory was not taking care of.
Sure, and I understand that, but unfortunately, that doesn't.
I know.
It doesn't really pertain to the application that we're hearing right now.
I know, I'm just
But
I'm letting these people,
Yeah.
I'm their voice, and
Sure.
I'm voicing their concerns about Ivory.
Yeah, and
I'm just letting,
I will state that I think that the planning commission, when working through the subdivision and stuff, worked very, very hard to make sure that all the people in the neighborhood were that all their concerns were addressed as much as they could possibly address them.
I know.
They don't have those townhomes right up against their backyard, so I guess that's a
That's a
positive,
plus.
right?
But I just had to voice
For sure.
for them.
Understand.
So,
Okay.
I just want to say that I see this as a great opportunity for more transitional housing, things that we've been talking about with this medium density type situation. It seems like a good opportunity in a good area on a major road that will have another access. And I don't know if it's in an RDA area. I don't know how it's not. So it's not in that kind of area. But
it's not an idea.
yeah, so just see it as another good opportunity.
Well, I just want to say thank you to staff. We've discussed this project before. I think this is a really good use of this area. And as we've discussed, getting an access onto a UDOT road is always an incredible adventure. So just commend the fact that that was able to happen. So thank you. Okay, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion that we adopt an ordinance relating to land use that amends the general plan from low-density residential to medium-density residential and amends zoning map from R18 residential single-family to RM15 multifamily medium-density residential for the properties located at 770 and 780 West, 5300 South, and 845 West Clover Meadow Drive.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Brooke, will you call the roll?
Ms. Cotter?
I'm still concerned about the development. Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Rackesee?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to go to our business items portion of the meeting tonight. And the first one is we're going to consider an ordinance amending section 3.10.110 of the Murray City Municipal Code relating to the procurement code and the rules governing minimal and small purchases. Brooke Smith presenting.
This monitor turns on. Just for, well, this gets signed in. Oh, we better not have to sign in. Okay, except. It's not us. Screen mode. And exit, sorry. Just drag and drop this over. Okay. 2 weeks ago, we met as a committee of the whole to talk about a procurement change, a request for a procurement change. The goal is to improve our efficiencies, leverage buying power, and adapt to market changes while maintaining transparency and competition. Here is a red line version of the proposal that we submitted 2 weeks ago. And I would just like to open it up to the council for questions. And if not, I would like to request they consider the ordinance.
Any questions or comments from the council?
I'll just make a comment. We already went over this and you were very specific and answered all of our questions, and I really appreciate it. So good job.
Thank you.
Certainly, it was great.
Thank you.
Thank you. And with that,
I'll take a motion.
I will make a motion that we adopt an ordinance amending section 3.10.110 of the Murray City Municipal Code relating to the procurement code and the rules governing minimal and small purchases.
I second it.
We've got a motion and a second. Can we, Brooke, will you call the roll?
Ms. Cutter?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Harakisi?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye. All right, our second business item is to consider a resolution approving the mayor's appointments to the Salt Lake County Justice Court Nominating Commission. Mayor Hales presenting.
Thank you, Councilmember Rogers. We talked about this in committee of the whole, and I have something that's just a little different, nothing major. But so this is an appointment from me that for the Salt Lake County Justice Court Nominating Commission, and this is to appoint a new judge. But this is a committee that will meet. There are 5 people on the committee. We will have 2 from our city, and I will bring their names to you, and then you will decide if you'll confirm them. If you do, they'll be part of this committee with the county mayor and with the Salt Lake County Bar. And also in my COM meeting, which I don't know if they're going to do it this Thursday or not, but Thursday I have a COM meeting. It's a committee of the mayors, and they'll vote for one mayor also to be on that committee. That's where I was a little confused in committee of the whole. I kept thinking, they make a decision on this? And anyway, we will appoint a mayor from Salt Lake County. Also, I also told you it's 5 judges. It says on there 3 to 5. So it may be 3. You know, when someone says 3 to 5, they can do whatever they want. Also, you'll be interesting to hear that we had absolutely no people apply. We have now 29 people that have applied for this position. So we have 29, and it'll probably be a lot more. I don't know when it actually.
Any women?
I have no idea. I would guess 29, good chance.
I would hope.
Yeah. So 29. Is that amazing? So we don't know who, what, where. We just got that number sent to us. So is that crazy?
That's great.
And I think it's worth saying so everyone understands that our current judge is retiring,
Yes,
correct?
you have to retire at age 75, before 75. And so it's called aged out.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Don't try to get me out.
No. And so so we are now beginning the process because he will age out.
That is true. He'll age out in May. And so that is correct.
Perfect.
Interesting. Before I came on board, I had no clue that a judge aged out. That was new to me, so.
All right.
Any comments,
No.
questions from the council?
Okay, so now is that okay to present the names? Okay. So we'll present the name G.L. Critchfield, our city attorney, and Karen Gallegos, who was over our courts, Murray courts, who works with the judge every day.
Any questions or comments from the council for the mayor?
Nope.
All right, I will take a motion.
I move to approval of the resolution approving the mayor, resolution of approving the mayor's appointment to the Salt Lake County Justice Court Nominating Commission.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Brooke, will you call the roll?
Ms. Cotter?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Orekesi?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Thank you.
Hey, Mayor, do you want to give your report from right there?
I'll give you my report. No, I need my phone, so no. Thank you. One of the things I mentioned this last time, but within 2 weeks, we will have this parking lot that's on this side that's being redone. That'll be done. So we'll be able to use it. Honestly, I can't tell you what we'll use it for right now, but it's kind of for me, it's a piece knowing that we have some parking for the theater down the road possibly. And so just to be able to have that available is important, very important. And so I just saw it sitting out when I was looking out the window one day, and I thought, it's nothing. Let's use this. Let's stripe this thing. And so they jumped on it, and we've had people using them. You know, you've seen big trucks there that aren't even part of Murray. So they're probably just doing other street things or whatever from county or wherever, but they've used it. So we've moved everyone off, and Russ Kakla said that should be done by next week. That'll be all.
So will they be coming back, the county people, to use the parking lot, or is it going to be?
That's a great question, Pam. I've wondered that too. Yeah, I have, because I mean, honestly, I've thought that a million times, thinking like, well, what are we going to use it for? You know, but we'll designate what it's going to be used for. So we'll make sure that
Maybe the restaurants across the street,
oh,
charge them for rent or the parking.
As long as we get
I'll be
charged.
the parking attendant.
Pam, you're offering a lot of stuff. I love it. All right, and let's see, I had one more thing I was going to bring up to you. Sorry. No, I don't need to bring it up. Phil already brought it up in the meeting about that we're going to be presenting that to you.
And what was the timing? What again on that? You're talking about City Hall, correct?
Yeah, for Old City Hall, that we'll bring that to you. I told you, it's the end of November, 1st of December. So that will be brought to you. And I'm really excited to get this moving. It's a process. You all know, you were part of it. And it's a little frustrating. Poor GL had people say to him, "Can't you pick this up?" And he's looking at you going, "I'm going as fast as I can go." So you want to make sure you have your I's dotted and T's crossed, because seriously, there's a lot. And there's a meeting going on that I'm not even a part of right now, because Diane and I talked about this, but I've been counseled that if I'm in that meeting and I happen to nod my head, yes, that could be a nonverbal commitment. And so I'm not even in that right now. So, interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I have.
Any questions for the mayor?
I don't have a question for the mayor, but I do have a comment, not necessarily towards the mayor, but I realized that when we were going through the nonprofit allocation stuff, that I did not mention that Councilwoman Dominguez and I spoke earlier today, and she was fully supportive of us moving forward with that resolution as well. And so I did want to make sure that I said that publicly in the meeting, because it is important to acknowledge that she was supportive as well.
All right, thank you. With that, we are adjourned.